Hello, everybody. It's the Flamin' Shark. It's episode 31 of Fate's Stay Night. I don't know what episode this is of Unlimited Blade Works. Like 13 or something? I don't know. This might be the last one. I really don't know. The way things left off last time, we're entering Eden, I believe, which very well feels like it will be the final day of Consequence. Like, there might be an epilogue, there might be something else going on like that, but this feels like, in essence, the final day. I don't know if this is going to be the final episode. I honestly don't think it will be. I'm assuming this day is going to be really long. If anything, I'm expecting this to maybe be the penultimate episode of Unlimited Blade Works. Who knows? Maybe we have more episodes left in us than I think, but it really does feel like we are reaching the end of this route. This route has been incredible. This route has broken me. This route has been honestly one of the things that it's actually been so good that it's been hard for me to record near the end. For the life of me, I can't even comprehend the concept of doing this a third time. Like, it actually sounds like a fate worse than death. And yes, that was a joke. Not really, but, you know, fate, haha, kill me now. Seriously, though, this is gonna be fantastic. Final confrontation with Gilgamesh. Shirou looks like he's going to have a huge role in this confrontation. Not to say that we don't have other players, other pieces on the board, but I'm very curious to see how this ends, because this is pretty much just a straight up, like I said, final confrontation with Gilgamesh, which should be really interesting, and I'm really excited to check it out. I love this game. I've heaped praise on this game to no end. This is one of my favorite games ever, one of my favorite visual novels ever, and it's so good. And again, I can't speak to the experience in the various anime that have adapted Fate, but I can pretty confidently say that this experience, at least for me personally, has absolutely been the right experience for Fate. It's incredible. Let's just do it, guys. Let's just do it. Let's go. Here we go. February 15th. Yep, Eden. Here we go. I turn off the lights in the house. It's one of those, like, I don't know if I'll ever come back here again things. It's 4 in the morning. We leave the Emiya residence with a few hours left until dawn. We have our plan. There's nothing else to discuss. Now we just need to go to the battlefield and carry out each of our responsibilities. There's no guarantee we'll come back safely. Well, until now it's been a recurring event, but this time there is no guarantee we'll return. So I need to make sure to turn off all the lights in my house. That's such a, like, completely irrelevant thing, right? Like, that means absolutely nothing at this point, but it's that type of procedural action that gives a sense of normalcy to the absolute irregularity of the situation that Emiya finds himself in. So I actually really like that line. Someone's standing in the garden. See, this feels more like a Saber move, but given the way this route has gone, it's more likely Tohsaka. Oh, it is Saber, okay. A blonde girl gazes up at the night sky, doing nothing in particular.
Oi! 何してるんだ, Saber?
空を見ていました。それと、この家を。
Very cool house. She answers me in a very gentle voice. When we first met, she looked at this house with a different expression.
いろいろありましたから。ずっと覚えていられるように、心に焼き付けておきたかった。
Her voice. It reflects a determination that she might never come back, even greater than mine.
そっか。できればずっと覚えていてくれ。
Yep. I make a humble request of her from the windowed hallway.
はい。では私からもお願いします。あなたたちは私が守る。ですから必ず、二人でこの家に戻ってください。
Yeah, we can't have our happy ending without Rin and Shirou making it back to this house.
ああ、必ず戻るよ、ここに。
Saber's more optional in the grand scheme of things, unfortunately. That's the only answer I can give now. We're going to destroy the Holy Grail. When that happens, Saber will leave too, because she's a servant. I'd like her to stay here, and she's even developed an attachment to our home. But that's a rule she can't break as long as she's a servant.
ちょっとそこ何してんのよ。時間がないんだから急ぎなさいよね。
Classic Rin ruining a moment. A voice beckons us from the front door. Tohsaka seems to have finished preparations and is already at the gate.
では、シロ。
Yeah, this is like kind of our final send-off moment for Saber if everything goes well, and if everything doesn't go well, it probably is our final send-off moment for Saber anyways.
ああ、決着をつけに行こう、セイバー。
Because it does feel like the ending is going to be more Tohsaka-themed, given how, again, like I said, that while this route was less Tohsaka-centric than I expected it to be, it still very much, obviously, has had a little more lean towards Tohsaka, right? It's because the Fate route was so character development driven, like there was so much like character moments for everyone, even though again it was very focused on Saber and Shirou's dynamic, whereas this has been more action focused because we have all that backstory from the Fate route. Unlimited Blade Works has been more focused on the actual like plot progression and progressing at a faster pace and more shit happening and all that stuff. So even though we've had our moments with Rin, it feels a little different because of the structure of the arc is a bit different compared to what they did in the Fate route. I turn off the last light and leave the house with Saber. The night is quiet. In the garden, under the starry sky, the illusion of a girl gazing up at the stars still remains. Oh boy, here we go. Our direction is set. Saber's going to breach Ryoto Temple from the front gate, while Tohsaka and I will infiltrate from the back of the mountain. We plan to have Saber enter the temple slightly sooner than us to draw Gilgamesh's attention. We'll use the opening to sneak into Ryoto Temple from the back, stop the Holy Grail as soon as possible, and then back Saber up. See, I think the second he sees Saber by herself, he's gonna realize generally what is going on, but he might feel like he could beat Saber fast enough for it to be a moot point. But I feel like Gilgamesh, as arrogant as he is, I don't think he's stupid enough to fall for this plan. And I think they all realize that this is a shitty plan, but it's kind of like, what other plan do we have? We don't have anything else. We don't have anything better. Then I'll counter Gilgamesh's noble phantasm with my projection so Saber can close in and finish him off. We're making this, yeah, I get that that's the plan, but we're really, like, talking like this is going to be easy when this is almost impossible. Even though I think Shirou can pull it off, it's still, like, yeah, it's funny. That's our only strategy right now. I don't think we've seen, I could be wrong, but I don't think we've actually seen this background in the entire series. There's a barely intact path in the hills behind the temple. I guess it makes sense, because we're behind the temple, but still. Tohsaka scales the slope as surely as if she'd scoped out the area beforehand. At night, the mountains are dark and sinister. The mountain is an inviolable... I get it, like, you can't violate it. I get what that's supposed to mean, but I've never actually seen that word. And spiritual ground, so it naturally repels us. While the dark mountain itself is dangerous to human hikers, it also embodies a sacred realm with high spiritual purity. However...
尋常じゃないわね、これ。生臭すぎて吐き気がする。
I wonder if it's just the presence of Gilgamesh at the temple. Tohsaka gags, squinting at Ryoto Temple at the summit. Fishy is just her figure of speech. There isn't actually a fishy smell coming from the mountain. I love how they feel the need to explain the fact that that's a figure of speech. I wonder if this is like a relatively direct translation, where she says something that's like not particularly Japanese, and then Nazu feels the need to explain it to his Japanese readers. Like, I feel like that could be what the translation was here, because that's just a weird line. It just feels bizarre. The air feels uncomfortably lukewarm, and it sticks to my skin. Well, that's lovely. The life energy in the area feels so raw, I can't tell if I'm breathing or the mountain's breathing. I even hallucinate that we're hiking up a giant intestine, not a mountain. Well, that's a little concerning.
今更だけど、シロ、体の調子はどう？
Suddenly, Tohsaka asked me how I was.
いや、調子はいいんだが、悪いというか、正直持て余してる。
Okay. I tell her my honest feelings. With this much magical energy, 10 or 20 projections would be a piece of cake. But you could compare it to putting a jet engine on a worn-out plane. I feel like I can't relax, as if I'll spring a fuel leak and explode if I lose focus. Interesting. I like that analogy.
贅沢な悩みね、それ。けど、ちゃんと成功してよかった。初めてだったから心配だったのよ。
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's a crazy line. It was your first time. We did it together on your bed. That's crazy.
心配？もしかして、本当は綱渡りだったのか？あの儀式って。
家庭じゃなくて、その後の話よ。シローに分ける魔力と、セイバーに取られてる魔力のバランス。二人分の掛け持ちなんだから、セイバーの出力が落ちてるのはわかるでしょ？
That makes a lot of sense, honestly.
そうか。そうだよな。じゃあ、セイバー、思うように戦えないのか？
Yeah.
あのね、甘く見ないで。
Yeah, and it's also, yeah, we know Rin has a huge reserve of magical energy for a, like, human magus of this generation. Mage, whatever.
そんな不手際はしないし、セイバーに比べたら、シローに分ける魔力は小さいから、なんとかやっていけるわ。ただ、無理は効かないの。今のセイバーは、一回しか聖剣を使えない。
That seems fair.
聖剣が一度しか使えない？
Then she can't use it on Gilgamesh. We need Saber's noble phantasm to destroy the Holy Grail.
じゃあ、セイバーは切り札を封じたままでギルガメッシュの足止めをするのか？
Stop's the wrong word. Survive is a better word.
ええ。だから少しでも早く合流しないとまずいわ。
And meanwhile, we're busy
セ
chatting.
イバーがギルガメッシュを止められないと判断した場合、聖剣を使うようには言ってある。けど、そうしたらセイバーに後はないの。セイバーの聖剣でなければ聖杯は壊せない。
Interesting.
だからその時は。
He holds his breath. When that happens, she's prepared to use the sacred sword knowing that she'll disappear afterward.
トサカ、それは。
仕方ないでしょ。これはセイバーが言い出したことなんだから。私が止めたって、彼女は聖杯を壊すわよ。
Yeah, I mean, she's fully locked in. She's committed to this, which makes sense given the context that we have from this route. Tohsaka doesn't look at me as she murmurs. Damn it, what a fool she is. This is just as hard on Tohsaka. She doesn't want Saber to disappear either. Well, yeah, I mean, Rin's in love with Saber too. Like, it's the only one that, like, I think Saber admires Rin. I don't necessarily think Saber, like, has feelings for Rin, but, like, if you're absolutely every other combination of this throuple has feelings for each other. Absolutely. Rin for Emiya, Emiya for Rin, Emiya for Saber, and Saber for Emiya, and then, of course, Rin for Saber. Like, 100%. It's just the Saber. I don't really get vibes that, like, Saber's necessarily into Rin. But 100% all those other combinations, absolutely, to varying degrees, of course, but come on. Rin really likes Saber.
急ごう。ギルガメッシュにセイバーは渡せない。
当然よ。私のセイバーだもん。
Based!
あんな奴に殺させないわ。
Of course not. Saber belongs to me. Sound like a master there. I love it. We run up a game trail. I know what we need to do. We'll stop the Holy Grail as fast as we can and then go settle things with Gilgamesh. We'll see. I don't know if stopping the Holy Grail is going to be as simple as You guys seem to think, oh my god, here we go. Saber v Gilgamesh interlude, let's go. Or at least a preview for it. We might get a few interludes in this day. Let's get it. Let's do it. Oh, here we go. The mountain is rumbling. Rumbling, rumbling is coming. Dark clouds shroud the sky, and the trees seem to tremble nervously due to the tremors. Saber watches it all from the mountain gate. She sensed it as soon as she felt the noxious, indescribable aura oozing from Ryoto Temple. The golden servant isn't the only one awaiting her at the top of these stairs. Something aberrant lies in wait for her and her allies. She can't make any mistakes up ahead. If the summit is going to be the place where they die, then she will be the one to face the threat of death. She hopes the other two can survive this ominous realm. For their sakes, she can't afford to hold back. She can fire her sacred sword twice. She's well aware that she will disappear the instant she uses it the second time. Makes sense. I mean, if the second attack is destroying the Holy Grail anyways, it doesn't matter. Like that, it's kind of irrelevant at that point, if that makes her disappear. Gilgamesh, the king of heroes. The only way to defeat the man with 1,000 noble phantasms is with a decisive strike from her sacred sword. She recalls Rin's words. There is 1 minute left until the appointed time. Saber breathes in deeply and considers her condition. A breeze blows from the summit. She begins up the stone steps once the ill wind begins to shake the trees. Here we go. She dashes up the steps in a single breath. As soon as she stepped foot on the stairs, the enemy would have realized her assault. The last servant she needs to defeat should appear within the temple grounds. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he lets her, like, it's not going to be a battle on the steps. I fully expect him to let her get into the temple. Or, like, the temple grounds, like, and then fight there. She needs to get there as fast as she can and defeat Gilgamesh before Rin and Shirou arrive. Yeah, that's not happening. She isn't defying her master's orders. She began her assault after 30 minutes, just as Rin commanded. Even if she enters the temple grounds earlier than expected and engages Gilgamesh, it isn't a violation of her orders. She's just deviated from her master's projections in the course of protecting her master's life. Masters, plural, honestly, because it's your former master and your current master. While the air from the summit is putrid, she is like a gust of cleansing wind that cuts at the rot as she ascends the steps. It will take her less than a minute to reach the temple. That should put her about 5 minutes ahead of Rin's projections. It will give her plenty of time to end the battle with Gilgamesh. Don't get me wrong, you're OP as shit, Saber, but like I highly doubt you're gonna beat him alone. She runs, enduring the ominous chill from the mountain gate. At least in this context, I highly doubt it, I should say. Like a silver speeding bullet, she races towards the summit. Just as she comes up to the gate. She didn't mean to stop, but she comes to a sudden halt. It's something other than Gilgamesh, isn't it? Sweat coats her forehead. Saber gazes up at the mountain gate in astonishment. A smooth voice cuts through the night. Oh shit, assassin? Moonlight glints off the 5-foot-long sword. Yeah, I was listening to that voice. I was like, whose voice is that? I was going through the list of characters. I couldn't place it. An enemy that shouldn't be here stands at the top of the steps. Yeah, it's assassin.
Assassin.
Her voice lacks its usual grace. She's faced with an enemy, an obstacle that shouldn't be here. That fact robs her of her composure. Well, this is certainly a twist. Yeah, because I mean, obviously, the thing that makes this weird, of course, is that his master was caster. So how did he manage to survive this is the real question. How did he manage to stick around?
私はここの門番だと
Yeah,
お前は承知しているはずな
that
んだ。
he is. His voice is delighted yet cool. The swordsman seems completely unchanged, his back to the ill wind from the summit.
バカな。なぜここにいるアサシン。あなたはキャスターが呼び出したサーバントだ。キャスターが消えた今、あなたがとどまっているはずがない。
Not if he made a pact with another master. I mean, it can't be, it literally can't be, there's no way it can't be Gilgamesh, but he absolutely could have made a pact with another master, theoretically.
通常のサーバントならばそうであろう。だが、私はちと特殊でな。好みを縛っているのは人ではなく、この土地。
Really? To that extent, huh?
お前たちがマスターと呼ぶよりしろ。私にとっては、それがこの三門ということになる。
That's actually really cool. Very interesting concept.
土地がよりしろだと。
Huh.
いかに魔術師といえど、実体を持たぬサーバントにサーバントは維持できぬ。サーバントのよりしろは、この時代のものでなければならぬらしい。女狐は私を呼び出し、よりしろにこの土地を選んだ。
Huh.
故に、私はこの三門にのみ出現するサーバント。召喚者のキャスターが滅びたところで、この三門がある限り。
Bro's literally like, yeah, until somebody defeats me, I can literally just exist as the guardian of this mountain gate forever. That is crazy. And that's a really interesting revelation. That's wild.
もっとも、それも日雇いに過ぎんがな。女狐が私に与えた魔力はおよそ8。
Oh, okay.
その限度がいつか、お前ならば見て取れよ。
Alright, so that's fair. So he does have a time limit.
土地が
Sorry. Pressed a button I didn't mean to press.
女狐は。
Yep.
私はこの三門にのもっとも、それも日雇いに過ぎんがな。女狐が私に与えた魔力はおよそ20日分。その限度がいつか、お前ならば見て取れよ。
The swordsman explains in a sing-song voice and lifts his right arm. In his elegant garment, his pale arm is transparent like glass.
アサシン。あなたは
見ての通り、夜明けまで持たぬ身だ。
Interesting. So he is still on his last legs.
20日の刻限などとうに過ぎている。ここまで持ちこたえたことこそ行幸と言えよ。
Sure, because obviously casters summoned him before our story started. I guess the best way to put it, like before the prologue or the first day, however you want to frame it. She looks up at the swordsman in shock. His aura emits neither bloodlust nor hostility. It simply demands combat. Really interesting. He desires a pointless duel to the death, irrespective of victory or loss.
では、私と戦うために残ったというのですか、アサシン。
I don't know if it was specifically you, but for a fight,
言わ
yes.
せるな、セイバー。口にすれば、つまらぬ言葉になり下がる。
A warrior's death, so to speak. Assassin chuckles. Saber could understand the swordsman's reasons. It does sound like they do have some things in common, for sure. But she doesn't have time for this. Unless she hurries, her allies will arrive while she's fighting Gilgamesh. No, in the worst case, they might arrive first and be forced to engage him without her.
そこをどけアサシン。あなたに門番を命じたキャスターは消えた。もはや門を守る意味などあるまい。
Yeah, but he's honor bound to guard the gate regardless, I imagine. Or it might even be some, like, magical power from beyond the grave. Saber takes a step forward. However...
いいな。もとより、私に戦う意味などない。
Yep. He declares that the duel will begin if she proceeds any further. The tip of his long katana is pointed at Saber.
そう、戦う意味などない。 私には初めから何もないからな。英霊としての誇りも望むべき願いもない。
Interesting.
いや、そもそも私が呼び出されたこと自体が間違いなのだ。何しろこの身は佐々木小次郎などではない。
Oh? 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 It's funny because interesting. Saber is extremely confused. Sasaki Kojiro. That should be the servant's true name. But Assassin has just admitted that he's an imposter. Interesting.
そう驚くことでもあるまい。佐々木小次郎というものはな、もともと正体のない架空の剣士なのだ。
Okay.
実在したとされるが、記された記録はあまりに不鮮明。
Okay.
ある剣豪の敵役として都合が良い過去を捏造された。
Sure.
人々の記録だけで剣豪
An
と
even
された人
more
物だ。
famous swordsman.
確かに佐々木小次郎という男はいただろう。物干し竿と呼ばれる長刀を持つ武芸者もいたはずだ。
Sure.
だが、それらは一個人のものではない。
Interesting. That's an interesting commentary to make, given, you know, when we're getting kind of further into the depth of what makes heroic spirits or summoned spirits, right?
佐々木小次郎という剣士は、引き立て役としてのみ作られた架空の武芸者であったはずだ。
Huh.
架空の英霊ですが、あなたは
Well, it was always my understanding that, like, as long as enough people believe in them, they could become heroic spirits. So that would imply fictional characters, given enough time and lore and belief and people, like, reading their tales and all that stuff. Theoretically, a fictional there's no reason why a fictional heroic spirit couldn't exist.
そう、佐々木小次郎だ。佐々木小次郎というから、それを被るに最も適した剣士が私というだけの話だ。
Interesting.
私に7度ない。読み書きなど知らぬし、名前を持つほど余裕のある人間ではなく。
Interesting. Bro's like, I'm just a guy, bro.
私はただ、記録にある佐々木小次郎の秘剣を披露できるという一点で呼び出された亡霊だ。
I'm just a wraith summoned here for my ability to demonstrate the secret technique attributed to Sasaki Kojiro in the histories is a crazy line.
偽りのサーバントであるこの身は
Yo!
ゆえにキャスターも
He's a fake servant. I mean that's debatable, but that's interesting that's how. That's interesting. That's so interesting, like the concept of how fictional servants could be summoned. That's crazy.
そら、意味など初めからないだろう。
Because I'm literally not even real, like kinda.
たとえここで偉業を成したところで、報酬はすべて佐々木小次郎に与えられる。私には何も返ってこない。無である私にとって、あらゆることは無意味だ。
That's crazy.
この身は自分すら定かではない。佐々木小次郎という役柄を演じるだけの名のない使い捨ての剣士に過ぎぬ。
It's super interesting too because this is such an interesting concept, and I just wasn't ready for them to drop another interesting lore concept at this stage of the route. I figured any more super interesting fate concepts we're going to be saved for Heaven's Feel. The long sword sways. The swordsman created as a fictional character stands in Saber's way, prepared to fulfill his role.
だが、その私にも唯一意味があるとすれば、それは今だ。無名のまま死んでいった私に、もし望みがあったとしたら。
It'd be the duel. Then surely the nameless swordsman would have dreamed of facing a superior swordsman, something he was never allowed to witness in life.
アサシン。
She takes up her sword. Yeah, she understands. There is no persuading this foe. The only response to a swordsman ready to lay down his life is to meet him with steel. Oh, so badass. Oh, this is so sick.
元より花と散る好み。その最後、そなたで迎えられるのであらば、これ以上の幕はあるまい。
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, it just went. His long sword sweeps through the air. Saber's sword parries the moonlit blade. Yep, here we go. They're dueling. The katana suddenly changes direction. If she uses her strength against this man, she won't be strong enough to face Gilgamesh at the summit. But she also can't afford to hold back against Assassin. No. Can she win even if she goes all out against him? The katana's attacks grow sharper with each swing. A fictional swordsman. A master of the sword with no noble phantasm who can fight on equal ground with heroic spirits. She must settle this duel with him now. I guess that would make sense. Oh, and we just interlude out back to Tohsaka and Emiya? Alright, sure. That's crazy. Wild interlude, by the way. Did not expect us to have to fight Assassin. Did not expect Kojiro to show up or to get that interesting lore drop on some of the specifics of fictional servants and that whole situation. It's good shit. The summit is close. We'll arrive at the back of the temple grounds once we climb this hill. There should be a large pond there, untouched by humans. Tohsaka climbs the slope, pushing the branches aside. I watch her back, keeping an eye on our surroundings. And then, just as the slope levels out onto the flat ground, we come face to face with it. Oh, dear God. I wonder what this is. Think about it, bro. Just squirming hunk of flesh. That is disgusting, by the way, but I know we've already kind of gotten a little tease of this, but the thing enshrined in the center of the pond seems to writhe and beg for help as it spews rotting black liquid around it. Yeah, this is the best use of this, like, this theme, and like the remixed version is perfect for this scene. How big is that thing? The flesh hunk is slowly getting bigger. It looks like a floating island. The pond water looks muddy and sticky as if there's an oil spill. He figured it out pretty fast. Not the best one, given how he had to make it, but I avert my gaze, feeling uncomfortable. We had been breathing in that thing's exhaust as we went through the forest. It endlessly spews out magical energy, polluting the pond. Its blood isn't colorless magical energy at all. That dark stuff is a visible curse. That's crazy. Even looking at the black mud gives me chills. The curse breaches my retinas. Oh, die is crazy. It hammers a single cold command into my brain. Yo. Well, with Excalibur, but, you know. No one said anything about this. How are we supposed to stop it? The flesh hunk is about 30 meters away. The pond is shallow, so walking through the water shouldn't pose a problem. I don't know, that's some corrupted water. But pushing our way through the black mud would be suicide. Yeah, exactly. It's a curse that erodes the mind just by looking at it. If we go into it, we'll be weakened and drown before we even walk a meter.
元からああいう形なのかどうかは知らないけど、器があんまりにも小さすぎたんでしょうね。中のものを抑えきれず、器を壊して溢れ出ようとしてる。
Interesting.
器を壊すって、それは。
シンジが聖杯になってるなら、シンジを壊すってことでしょうね。ほら、見える？あの山の奥、なんか人型らしきものがあるでしょ。シローなら確認できると思うんだけど。
I mean, not in this shot, but I assume we're gonna go to a zoomed in shot or like a secondary shot. Here we go. No, I follow Tohsaka's line of sight. Here we go. No. Within the rotting and growing flesh hunk, I do see something that looks vaguely human. Is he getting crucified? Torn clothes and a naked body, ugly muscles ripple under the skin, connecting the body to the flesh hunk. It's like the shape is different. It's a bizarre image, like a bunch of grapes shaped into a human form. That does sound fairly bizarre, I will give you that. And yet, despite that, you could in fact tell it was Shinji, huh?
So, で、生きてる?
It's all relative. Yeah, I don't know. He isn't dead, but I don't know if I can call that alive exactly. Yep. Yeah, and even if like you're able to somehow save him out of this, he still might be completely mind broken. I can't say that I see anything like human limbs.
やっぱりね。もともと今回の聖杯は人型だった。なら、人間っていう部品を利用して動かすってことでしょ?
I suppose that makes sense.
シンジは合わないからああなったみたいだけど、基本的に聖杯は宿主に生きていてもらわないと作動しない。
Sure.
けど、あれは破裂寸前なんだろう。核になっているシンジを壊すって。
それは仕方なくよ。そうなったら聖杯も何もない。ただ、聖杯によって開けられた穴から、あの得体の知れないものが溢れてくるだけ。
Which is not good, but I guess it could be worse.
だから、逆に言えばまだ間に合うわ。
To save Shinji.
聖杯は起動しているけど、願望機っていう本来の姿になってなければ壊れてもいない。あの金ピカは穴だけを開けるって言ってたでしょ?
Interesting.
あいつの目的は聖杯を起動させて、器だけ壊すことなのよ。そうすれば。今みたいに。あの得体の知れない泥が際限なく溢れ出てくる。
And then it's just GG's basically. There's no time to consider it. We'll pull Shinji out of the flesh hunk and stop the Holy Grail.
トサカ、あの泥なんとかできるか。凍らせちまえば上を歩けそうだけど。
無理。ただの水ならいけるけど、あれはもう呪いに加工された魔力なのよ。形になった魔術を凍らせるなんて、そんなの氷結専門の術者で難しいわ。
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm also running low on water, so I might make a cut soon to fill up my cup of water.
そうか。なら、あとは。
We'll just have to pray for good luck. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this whole situation is praying for good luck, and that's before, you know, not that Rin or Shirou know about this, but that's before Saber ran into another servant before getting to the Golden Archer. The only option is to cross the pond before the curse corrupts us and extract Shinji. Well, maybe, like, Rin could do, like, a superpowered jump or something? I don't know. Don't know if she can actually do that.
無理よ。あなたじゃいいとこ真ん中で飲み込まれるってば。
Yeah, I feel like, however, you gotta do some sort of, like, special jump or something.
やってみなくちゃわからないだろう。もう時間がない。セイバーも今頃あいつと戦ってるはずだ。
Oh,
ここで躊躇している暇は。
She's fighting all right, just not in the way, not who you'd expect. I whirl around and move to protect Tohsaka.
これは驚いた。
Oh shit.
まさか、三度もその不出来な顔を見るとはな。雑種。
I was wondering if this was gonna happen given the fact that Saber's distracted with Assassin. Gilgamesh sneers at us. Oh shit. The music just immediately decided to pick up. There he... Oh my god, bro's already got his weapons out. He appeared by the pond instead of the temple as if he predicted our moves. Well, it's not that surprising. Like, all things considered, it really isn't.
Gilgamesh? 嘘。なら誰と戦ってるのよ、セイバーは。
Tohsaka's words indicate that Saber's engaged with some other enemy at the moment, so she could sense it's a battle. I don't know who that might be or how she ended up fighting them. There's no time to consider that right now. Yeah, it really is the least of your concerns, to be honest. We're facing the worst person possible, literally. It's so weird to see him in that outfit, though. This is the strongest servant whom we were supposed to take down as a trio. And now he's here looking at us without Saber.
何？セーバーは不在か。つまらん。それではただ殺すだけか。
Yeah. A terrible chill oozes from the sea of mud, while bloodlust radiates from the man in front of us. Noble phantasms hang ready and wait behind him. One wrong move and he'll skewer us.
いや、それでは芸がないな。
Capture and torture while you wait for her?
本来なら有無を言わせぬが、今回は特別に許す。せっかくの客だ。そのせいにわずかばかりの猶予をやろう。
I'm not sure I'd want a slight extension on my life coming from you.
猶予だと。
My fingers tense up and I glare at the enemy. My magic circuits are open. I've lined up 14 blueprints, as many as I can manage. If he snaps his fingers, I'll replicate as many swords as I can. That should at least let Tohsaka get away.
なんだ。言われなくてはわからんのか?
Yeah, while the creepy mass of flesh that is the Holy Grail is just writhing behind him.
眉が帰るまでの数分、そこでかかしになるがいい。あれも見届ける者が俺だけでは寂しかろ
う。Okay, bro.
この行く末を最後まで見届けるというのなら、そのせいにも意味がある。
Dude, what a wild line. If you bear witness to its fate, then your lives will have had meaning. Bro's like, I'm gonna end the world and then rule whatever's left as the strong rise up from the weak. How can I listen to that? Our objective is to stop the Holy Grail. If there's still time, then we need to rescue Shinji from that flesh hunk. It is interesting to kind of see, like, the different motivations of Gilgamesh, because obviously in the Fate route, his primary motivations were essentially, like, obtaining Saber, kind of like as his, like, toy, essentially. Whereas here, you know, he's more kind of goal-driven in this route. And you can kind of see some of the variances in some of the ways of how he's acting because of those different goals that he has.
そうかよ。悪いがこっちは。
あんたの言いなりになんてならない。今すぐあの日会に行って、あんたの聖杯を止めてやるわ。
That's the one thing he can't let you do, Rin. Before I can finish, Tohsaka takes the initiative and stares down Gilgamesh.
ほう?
He's like, oh, really now? And how exactly do you propose on doing that? His lips twisted to a smile. That laugh sounds like when someone decides to kill the person in front of them.
待て、トサカ、それは。
シローはここであいつを止めて。
Here we go.
無茶だって分かってるけど、セイバーが来るまでなんとか持ちこたえて。シンジは私が責任を持って引っ張り出してくるから。
Oh, that's terrifying.
引っ張り出してくるって、お前。
Oh boy.
分かってるわよ。あんなんでもさくらの兄貴だし、見殺しにはできないもの。それに、助けられるのなら助けるのがシローの心情でしょ。
For better or worse, that is his vibe. And also, yeah, like, what's crazy about that too is that we're going to, it's going to be so interesting, right? Because I've talked about this multiple times, how, like, Sakura was a relatively, like, she was a relevant character in Fate. She, you know, kind of as we got deeper and deeper, she became a little less relevant. But I would say overall, she was pretty, like, she was a relevant character in the Fate route. Girl is completely fucking irrelevant in this route. It's actually crazy how little Sakura's in Unlimited Blade Works. So I have to imagine she was in, you know, she had a decent little role in the Fate route. Again, basically no role in Unlimited Blade Works. So this is all part of my kind of theory that she's going to be huge part of Heaven's Feel. And I expect also Shinji. Shinji's had a decent role in all three. But bigger role, I'd say, in this one than Fate. But I expect Shinji and Saber and, Shinji and Sakura and Ryder all to have big roles. Because Ryder's the only is really, like, kind of the only servant that we haven't had, like, much... I mean, we've seen a noble phantasm, but of sorts, but we haven't really had big reveals with Ryder yet. And we obviously knocked Ryder out so early in Unlimited Blade Works. So, I imagine Shinji, Sakura, and Ryder are all going to have huge roles in Heaven's Feel. Tohsaka starts to run toward the Dark Lake. Is she going to go into that mud as is? Oh my god. Bro, that face is psychotic.
なんだその滑稽さは。俺を笑い死にさせるつもりか、貴様ら。
Is that an option? Because honestly, we'll try anything. That guy. He laughs condescendingly at Tohsaka's determination.
てめえ、何がおかしい。
なんだ。お前はおかしくないのか、雑種。とんだ三流どもだ。あの呪いの中を進むだと？サーバントですら耐えられぬ呪いの渦を人間風情が踏破できるとでも思ったか？
Interesting.
私の底を甘く見ないで。この程度の呪いで染まるほど弱くないわ。それにね、私たちはあんたみたいに反霊体ってわけじゃない。ちゃんと生身のある人間なんだから、むざむざ飲み込まれてたまるもんか。
Interesting. Yeah, human tenacity and human, hopefully some human ingenuity, too. From our, ace mage, Rin Tohsaka. Like she said, Rin Tohsaka isn't so weak as to lose to a curse like that. Tohsaka Rin.
ならば好きにしろ。
Yep.
とも。俺はそんな真似は許さんがな。
What a stupid thing to say. I see that do as you wish, though I won't allow it. Oh shit. Okay, it's about to pop off. I need more water. I'll make a cut here. I mean, I'm gonna be really quick anyways, like a minute probably, but I'm gonna cut here because this is about to get hype. I need full water for this, so I'll see you in a flash right now. All right, let's do this. A sword shoots forward. You gotta stay on, bro. The sword flies towards Tohsaka's defenseless back to skewer her. It's gonna be crazy. Bro's gonna Unlimited Blade Works his ass before this fight's over. There's a real possibility.
Off.
Oh, trace off, okay. But it's instantly deflected by my concho when I step in. I breathe heavily. I made it. Although I had prepared myself, this was the first time I had been able to project so quickly. It must be thanks to Tohsaka's magical energy. At this rate, we might be able to... Oh, yeah, now you pissed him off. You don't want the full wrath of Gilgamesh. Murderous rage fills his red eyes. My projection triggers him to get serious. The noble phantasms behind his back increase in number.
Shirou.
Behind me, I hear Tohsaka's concerned voice. I don't look back, and I keep my eyes on the enemy with my concho at the ready.
Tohsaka, Shinjiを頼む。
That's all I say to her.
任せて。すぐに連れ帰ってくる。
You better. Less because I give a shit about Shinji, because fuck that guy, but more because you better succeed in your mission, girl. I hear the sound of splashing water. Water in quotes. Tohsaka jumps into the sea of mud without hesitation. Oh. Well, that was actually... I don't even want to say really well voice acted, because I wouldn't even call that, like, voice acting, but that was a great sound. Then I'm gonna protect her. I won't allow a single noble phantasm to reach Tohsaka.
お前の相手は俺だ。Tohsakaに手を出したかったら、まず俺を倒しやがれ。
I don't think he's that concerned, but I love the determination there, Shirou. I take a step forward. This must have ticked him off. The golden servant takes his eyes away from Tohsaka and focuses on me.
あの小娘はのたれ死ぬ。
And that's the thing, like in his mind, it's like she won't even be able to make it to Shinji.
俺が手を下すのはあくまで慈悲だったのだが。
Sure. I'd kind of love to see Rin's perspective of this scene once she goes in the mud and like what like horrors she experiences through that and hopefully overcomes. A swarm of noble phantasms point toward me. He ignites his murderous intent like a sharp blade.
その前に貴様には思い知らせる必要があるようだ。
Alright, here we go.
薄汚い贋作者。
You filthy fake.
その身をもって真偽の違いを知るがいい。
Interesting how in both the Saber interlude and here with the Shirou plotline, there's talk about fake servant. You know, everyone's talking about being fake between Assassin and now Gilgamesh calling Shirou fake. He deploys his own treasures without reserve. Are we gonna get a new graphic? What is happening? The longsword. This is an interesting theme. The longsword slashes the darkness. So, yeah, they did flip to Saber. Interesting. We didn't even get like an interlude thing. Assassin freely reels a nearly 2-meter long sword, and Saber is still unable to step within range. Yo, let's go. She can't avoid it and falls back. The distance between the two sides does not shrink. There's 1 meter between Saber and Assassin. But that distance is enough to prevent Saber from even running up a few stone steps. Okay. Okay, this soundtrack's interesting. This is an interesting score. She bites her lip. She doesn't have time for these skirmishes. Her opponent is typically someone she could best in strength. She could overpower him if she used the full might of her magical energy in her sword. Just 1 blow. If she could just withstand that 1 blow, she'll easily be able to hold him down. It can be an arm or a leg. If she doesn't show she's sustained a few scratches, there won't be another attack. The moment she receives the blow, she's confident she can step into Assassin's range and cut her enemy in two. And yet, if that first blow manages to get to her neck, there would be no way she could overpower him. That's the kind of blow that this servant in front of her can execute. There's no restraint, and there's always blows that are meant to take one's life. The only possible way to prevent that is to retreat. She is at a positional disadvantage since she can't turn and attack from the side, and the enemy's skills prevent her from moving forward. Yeah. You know, diving into her bag of tricks with her sword is her best move here, but obviously there's other reasons why she feels like she can't do that. Thus, she can't step forward. She needs to reach the temple compound alive. As she stands there, Shirou and Rin are going up against Gilgamesh. If she's late, one of them might die. Or worse, the two of them are already... I assumed she would sense if Rin died. She runs. She yells as if to dispel the ominous imagery that pops up in her mind and rushes up the stairs. I love the color they used for his blade. You know, very much matching his outfit, but very cool looking there. Two trajectories collide. Seeing her rush up with abandon, Assassin swings his sword not at Saber's body, but at the sword swinging down toward him.
ほう、さすがはセイバーの剣。数回程度ならば耐えられると思ったが、一撃で曲がるとは。
Interesting. Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? She has, like, even if you can't see it, she has, like, a thick sword. Very durable, whereas he's using a giant-ass katana, which is obviously much thinner. Sparks fly. Different pros and cons of different types of swords. They try to push each other out of the way as the sword and katana clash. Assassin's katana is fragile. While the katana may be able to cut iron in two, it is still made by humans. It cannot compete against her sword, which was forged and created by non-humans. If struck from the front with force alone, the long katana will surely be shattered. Knowing this, Assassin made Saber retreat by parrying the sword and going for her body instead. Very cool. But Assassin blocked her attack. No matter how well trained and how tenacious Assassin is, his katana would not be able to fully defend against Saber's blow. The long sword that caught Saber's blow is now bent at its core. I'd love an art of that. At this rate, he can no longer maintain his sharp advantage. she asks herself as she pushes back Assassin's long katana. Her hesitation creates an opening. There is a reason Assassin blocked her sword. Before she realizes that reason, she is standing in a particular position. She is standing in a different position. The two, who were once standing at the top and bottom of the stairs, are now level with each other. Without realizing it, Saber's body shifted to the side, and she was forced to stand on a flat footing. This is a repeat of last time. They are standing level with each other, a suitable footing to wield the secret sword. Here, Assassin is able to execute his magical blade. Swallow reversal. The three arcing blades encircle the enemy, and the target has no chance of defending or evading. It ensures that the enemy is killed. Chill. She shudders from the chill running down her neck.
Assassin, Kisama.
Saber's strength leaves her. She could push back right now. As she is superior in strength, she can knock down Assassin and finish him off as she runs up to him. Or she could just run up toward the temple gate. But the outcome was going to be the same either way. If she disengages, that thing is going to come. Even if she knocks him away, whether she rushes in for the final blow or exposes her back to run up the stairs, that magical blade will be released and it will be over for her. Which means she can't push forward. She can only let herself ease up and match Assassin's stare.
良いのか、力を弱めて。これならば、私の方からお前を弾き飛ばせるが。
She views that as the best option at this point. Assassin looks at the cornered Saber with satisfaction. There is nothing callous in his mannerism. Well, that's the thing, right? Because Saber's really smart. Like, it's the intelligence of, like, Saber understanding what the situation that Assassin has put himself in. The swordsman with the long katana is simply admiring the determined look of his opponent, who is seeking to recover from a hopeless situation.
このために自らの武器を傷つけたのか、アサシン。
無論、拉致が開かぬのでな、勝負をつけに来た。
Makes sense. Neither of them want this to drag out, for different reasons, of course, but in the end, neither of them want this to drag out.
これならば、以前のお前に戻ろうと思ってな。果たし合いの最中に。
Yep.
後のことなど考えるな。
He could tell that she's thinking about what comes after this battle. And that's, you know, like, obviously it's incredibly understandable from Saber's perspective, but given the fact that both of the, you know, they are both a swordsman and a swordswoman, it is disrespectful to Assassin to be thinking about what's going on with Rin and Shirou and Gilgamesh. Like, she needs to focus on this battle and win this battle and hope for the best and get there as fast as she can. But to get there as fast as she can, she needs to put her full focus into Assassin. Assassin's words tell her that he sees right through her, yet it does not sound insulting. He understands. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, the red lighting. Uh-oh, what's going on? The compound is in flames. What the hell? The sounds of swords clashing and breaking. Okay, Gilgamesh versus Shirou. There's no doubt it's the sound of Gilgamesh and Shirou fighting.
どうやら縁も竹縄というところだな。こんなところで門前払いを受けている場合ではないぞ、セイバー。
Yeah.
アサシン。
Saber grips her sword tightly. She puts magical energy into her sword in an attempt to repel the obstacle in front of her, but she can't. This very moment is her end. If she breaks the distance between herself and Assassin, she would be walking into Assassin's scheme. She grits her teeth in frustration. She wields her sword that is infused with magical energy, but as she is unable to do anything, there...
何を迷う？お互い、やるべきことは一つだろう。
Go for your ultimate moves, right? The swordsman says it clearly.
アサシン。
もとより、我らは役割を果たすためだけに呼び出された。
Yep.
私がこの門を守るように、お前にも守るものがある。ならば、迷う隙などあるまい。
That's crazy. Dude, this guy is low-key fire. Like, I don't know how much of Bro we're gonna get in Heaven's Feel. I feel like he's gonna be one of the most, like, underdeveloped servants, period. But it would be sick if Castor and, you know, and all of them, you know, the Castor Brigade, because there are multiple characters, it's not just two, you know, have, like, a cool role in Heaven's Feel. Like, I would really like for Castor, for Kazuki, for Assassin, all to have, like, a good part. Because, like, obviously Castor went off in this route after being a non-factor in Fate. But I'd like them to be relevant, because, like, obviously we're going to get a lot of Rider. Hard to tell about Ilya and Berserker, honestly, and then, yeah, I actually don't think I actually feel like whatever happens, I wouldn't be surprised if, the GOAT himself, is not, like, super involved in this route, because he had a pretty big, Kirei, that is, of course, because he had a pretty big role, honestly, in both of the first two routes, so... I don't know. I'm really curious to see who gets focus in Heaven's Feel. Because, like, Ryder, Shinji, and Sakura, to me, all feel pretty obvious. But beyond that, I do think it's pretty open.
それにな、セイバー。時間がないのは、お前に限った話ではない。
That is true. We should have all the bluish purple-haired people be focused on in that route, because I do want more of Assassin. He's really cool. There is no pretense in his voice. This is the first and last time the fictional swordsman speaks the truth of his heart. His wish is to have a fight to the death. That is the swordsman's wish, his reward for getting summoned to this age and guarding the gate this entire time.
失礼をした。
Yep.
確かに。お互い時間はない。
Yep. And of course, you know, Saber comes to realize that she has been discourteous to Assassin. She releases the magical energy in her sword. The unrestrained power that gets released blows back Assassin. Yeah, she's like, yeah, no, okay, let me cook. He goes back about 2 meters. Saber does not move, even though she is within Assassin's best range. She neither runs to the temple gate nor toward Assassin. Here we go. Time to cook. Hit the music. Hit the music. Oh no, come on. You have to give me the music. You got to give me the music. Dun, dun, dun. Come on. She unleashes her seal. Her sword is revealed and Saber confronts Assassin. There is no hesitation in her eyes. She will use her entire strength if need be. Her eyes declare that she will use all her strength to defeat the enemy in front of her. Yeah, that's all he ever wanted. No words will be exchanged from now. Yeah, you just granted his wish, whether he wins or loses. The imaginary swordsman slowly readies his long katana. Oh! Oh, what a shot. He readies his strongest sword technique against the greatest enemy of his life. They're gonna cut. Oh my god, what the hell? Ah, I hate this. I hate... fate! She walks through the sea of rotten flesh. The lake is not even a meter deep, but the sticky mass of flesh is accumulated at the bottom, so she only sinks in knee deep. Yeah, beyond like magic goop curse goo, just on a pure what the fuck, this is gross level, this would be absolutely disgusting before you even get into whatever magical implications there are. She grumbles under her labored breath. Every step she takes gives her chills, like she's stepping on a mass number of bugs. Ew, it keeps getting worse. The rotting flesh that clings to her skin is unmistakably rotting flesh, as if she stops, it will harden around her. Ew. Ew, I don't want to hear those sounds with that description. She shakes them off with all her might and keeps going. Slosh, squish, crush. There's no way someone can stay sane from wading through this content. After all this, slaughtering a cow should be a piece of cake. Random comp, but okay. Tohsaka thinks defiantly. Okay, Tohsaka. That's how she's getting used to this. She's under so much pressure that she has to think of this as work, or else she wouldn't even be able to move. But at least she won't sustain mental damage this way. Oh. Uh-oh. You sure about that? But she can't endure this just with willpower alone. With each step forward, her body heat rises. The rotting flesh immediately invades her nerves the moment it touches her leg. Even if she tries to push them away, the poison has already assaulted her body. They're curses. Oh shit. The malice is tangible and it's like a disease. One would fall ill if they touch it. It invades the nerves, robs the body of its strength, and boils the brain. Every step taken is a step closer to fatality. A normal person would stop moving after 2 steps and fall into the pool of flesh. It's unknown what would happen afterwards. She doesn't want to think about if one suffocates or assimilates to become part of the flesh mound. She can't even think straight, given that she now has a fever over 40 degrees, of course, Celsius. Her feet and body threaten to fall over, but she pushes on, desperate to move forward. Rin didn't jump into the pool of flesh without a plan. She has swallowed her 2 remaining precious jewels, and she's using all the magical energy she saved up to create a defensive film over herself. This curse really is a crystallization of pure magical energy, and she should be able to repel it by shrouding herself with strong magical energy. I mean, the logic's fair, but is it strong enough is the question. Her vision blurs. Her assessment was correct, but it was way beyond the scope she imagined. The jewels she swallowed to put up defenses were no better than sheets of paper covering her. No human can go up against this corruption. There is nobody who can avoid getting engulfed in here. Here, her own strength was her only support system to survive.
もうこれなら火の上に飛び込んだ方が涼しいのに。
Well, to be fair, mage, in this universe, being a mage is a bunch of metaphors like jumping into a sea of fire. I mean, we've seen, like, obviously his way was a little flawed anyways, but we've seen the ways that, the meditation sessions that Shirou puts himself through, and the crazy descriptions of the type of stuff how that's like. And actually, if she did jump into a sea of fire, it wouldn't affect her since she is protected by her gems, yeah. The moment she starts complaining... How about that? She gets angry at herself for even mentioning it and regains her vigor. Yeah, her old servant and her good friend. That's not true. Even if it's not true, she can't crack a joke like that when dealing with something like this. In her feverish state, she listens to the clash of swords behind her. She can't see the 2 anymore. Did Shirou lead the battle away, or was he driven into a corner? Either way, the battle between those 2 seemed to have moved to the temple grounds.
あと少し一気に行くからそれまで。
Yeah, we know somehow the temple gets set on fire, apparently. She runs. She's barely fast enough to walk, but she moves her feet anyway. She pushes through the decaying flesh. She breathes heavily as she reaches for the lumps of flesh. She moves up, crawling. Ew, ew, ew. She feels the mounds of flesh.
なんかこっちのが楽みたい。
Good, I guess. She lets her body lean into the pulsating ground. This is much more disgusting, but the fever that invaded her nerves cools off rapidly.
ちょっとこれもしかして。
Shinji? She puts her finger on the red ground. It's the same as the black mud, but it has a form. It's something that came out from the Holy Grail and took form using magical energy, an incarnation that should not exist in this world.
サーバント。これサーバントと同じなんだ。
That makes sense. She murmurs in amazement. She tries to make sense of it, but stops. Now is not the time. There's only one thing she needs to do.
よし、回復した。さっさとシンジを見つけて、こんなところとはおさらばよ。
Good job, girl. You made it through there. Now, what's the get out of here part? Because I don't know if you can do that again. She gets up and runs up the mound of flesh. The mountain of flesh is a floating island about 50 meters in diameter. Jesus Christ, that is big. She couldn't see it in its entirety from the bank of the lake, but the surface is folded over multiple times like a mountain range. Crazy comparison. At the very depths, Mato Shinji is there, hidden among the flesh. Let's see our boy Shinji Mato. Or no, we go back to, now I assume Gilgamesh and Shirou. Yep, oh my god. And the music's popping off. I repel the incoming swords. There are more than 10 noble phantasms deployed, and all of them shoot straight toward me like arrows. I throw away the swords that turn to dust and ready for the next attack. In a single gulp of air, my labored breathing goes back to normal. If my breathing is labored, I can't do projection. Without a weapon, my body will get skewered. Okay. This isn't a battle against that guy. It's a battle against myself. The moment my projection speed and accuracy go down, that's when I'll disappear.
Ha! Sora, yasundeiru hima wa nai zo.
Okay. I respond to his voice, and a straight sword I've never seen before points towards me. It makes a loading sound and shoots towards me with lethal speed.
Torres.
I'm unable to deflect the full impact, and I fall to the ground on my back. Ooh. Ooh. I quickly roll to the side and stand up to regain my stance. Scores killer.
質が落ちているぞ。わずか一撃で壊れるようでは複製とは言えんな。
Yeah, even despite all that, he's still not quite on the level of Archer just yet. Archer is in Emiya, in all caps. A scornful laugh. He's obviously enjoying this. If he releases all the noble phantasms behind his back at once, there's no way I could defend myself. But he's only shooting them off one by one, holding back to test my limits. But I'm lucky that's happening right now. Despite Tohsaka backing me up, it's difficult for me to project after only seeing the opponent's weapon. I can only replicate its appearance. I can't construct its inner abilities, which is why they get destroyed after a single hit. You're talking about the other Archer? That guy said I'm the only one who can beat him, yep. But this is all I can do. I can only defend myself from his noble phantasm, and I can't rush in to attack him. 2, I need at least 2 weapons. But I'm having trouble with just one, so how the heck am I supposed to project 2 at the same time?
どうした？歯ごたえがあるのは口先だけか？フェイカー。
Faker. I love that he says that in English. He must like seeing me roll around as he looks entertained. I catch my breath. Things are fine as long as he's enjoying this. As long as he's acting that way, there's still a chance for me to win. That is true.
Torres.
Yeah, you need to keep cooking, Shirou. Let's go. I direct my mind to look inside me. There are only a few circuits. There, I mentally line up all the blueprints I can imagine. I visualize 17 noble phantasms. I analyze its internal structure based on their outward appearance, and I draw out the concept of creation to choose its compositional material. Oh. And now he's caught, yep, coughing blood, yep. I'm paying the price for putting multiple blueprints inside a circuit that usually handles only 1 or 2. Since I started using projection, my nerves have become damaged and my body has started to crumble from the inside. Blood pools in my stomach and my esophagus is working like a pump to expel the blood out from my body. Okay. I swallow those down and continue with my process. Kansho and Bakuya can't block his noble phantasm. If only I had Archer's swordsmanship, I could probably defend myself with twin swords, but I don't have that kind of skill. There's only one way for my inferior swordsmanship to prevent those noble phantasms. I just have to offset using the same exact noble phantasms that he deploys. Makes sense. Because that's the thing. He's not that's the thing about Gilgamesh. He's not really a swordsman. He just throws noble phantasms at you, essentially. At, you know, ad infinitum. So if you just... If you can match that, that's the way to beat him. Or at least draw him. I still have enough magical energy. Tohsaka's supply has been more than enough. Oh shit. But my circuits moving that energy are on the verge of corrosion. My end is near. The moment that guy gets serious, I'll have to project the same amount of noble phantasms he deploys, or else I won't survive. But at the same time, my body will definitely be destroyed if I project that much. Okay. I save the images flowing in my mind. The swords that try to go outside will actualize as I imagine them and pierce me from within. If my burned out circuits can't control it, the swords inside me will shoot out, and I will literally be a pincushion. That's pretty funny.
ほう、今度は多いな。10、15、17。そうか。目に見える我の宝具をすべて複製
That's
した。
crazy.
なめるな。魔術師の手の内など看破できなくて、
Wow.
何が英霊か。お前に働く魔術の数など。それこそ
Interesting.
手に取るようにわかる。
The bro's like, I can see right through you, bro. His line catches me off guard. Is the king of heroes who possesses thousands of treasures trying to say that he can perceive our magecraft just by looking at us?
では採点だ。
Oh shit. Yeah, I'll see how good you are, faker.
もっともいかに成功であろうと
Sure.
一本たりとも
But
世
they're
には
not the real
残さ
thing
ん
like
が
mine. I reacted too late. I was distracted by his words and it created a fatal delay on my part. 17 noble phantasms are shot out. A portion of the king's treasure rain out like an avalanche, telling me that the king is done playing around.
停止回答戦闘へ連続走者
Oh boy. My body wavers. The swords that shoot out from within me collide with the ones shooting toward me, and the impact shakes everything around. Yeah? I can't block them all. Even though I project 17 noble phantasms, I can only give form to them one at a time. Even if they're consecutive, I can only deploy one at a time. Interesting. On the other hand, my opponent is able to shoot them all at once. I've been no match from the get-go.
ガラス細工にしてはよく持つがそれもあと数撃かそら急いで真似ねば八つ咲きだぞ
That's the problem. I hear him taunt over the clashing swords. 12 more enemy noble phantasms.
しかしほとほと愚行よな俺には勝ち得ないと考え聖杯だけでも取り外す判断は正しいお前では我にはかなうべくもない
My fingertips are burning. The magical energy I emit and the heat from the colliding noble phantasms mercilessly burn my fingertips. 7 more noble phantasms left.
それならばあの男を殺してしまえばよかろう
Shinji, I assume.
聖杯を止めたいのであればシンジを始末することこそが確実だ魔術師であるお前たちならば
Yep.
あの泥を越えずとも殺しようはあったろう
Yep.
だというのにまだ救おうというその偽善
Perhaps.
まさに雑種の具現よな
But it is who they are. It's going to break. My circuits are going to burn out completely. It's not enough. I'm no match against this man with my measly circuits. Dude, it's just infinite sound effects, by the way. Why can't I block them? That guy said I could win, but this isn't even a contest right now. So does that mean... Am I making some sort of mistake? It's gotta be unlimited blade works, right? 3 noble phantasms left. I don't know if my body could hold out until I block them all. No, what I need to be thinking about right now is what the difference is between my blades and Archer's blades. Oh? In that moment, all of my senses freeze up. I don't even look at the remaining 3 noble phantasms. I'm focused on the golden servant pulling out a sword. A strange sword. My mind goes blank the moment I see what looks to be like a stone pillar.
女を救うと言ったな、小僧。
Oh shit. Oh shit. Those are very familiar colors, aren't they? His taunting voice echoes with the roar of the sword. I eliminate the 3 remaining blueprints in my circuit and rapidly try to read his sword. And yet... Until now, I've been able to read every sword. But I can't read the construction of that sword.
ならば見せてみろ。その贋作で、一体何が救えるのかを。
Interesting. What in the world? The wind creates a fault line. The slashing winds released from Gilgamesh's sword push away his own noble phantasms and head towards me. My mind is still blank. I can't come up with any countermeasures, so I just release the remaining magical energy within me. Oh, and back to Saber. Okay. Oh, this is crazy. Yep, now we get to see the shot in all its glory. The swordsman holds up his sword, an unknown imaginary stance for an unknown imaginary man. He readies his fatal technique that cuts his enemy by simultaneously executing blows from different angles. She's experienced that attack before. The previous one only attacked in a circular motion and at a vertical axis. That was why she was able to avoid it and managed to survive. But the true technique is said to have 3 trajectories. A circular and vertical slash, and probably a horizontal slash that cuts anyone who tries to escape sideways. If all 3 of those were to be released simultaneously, there is no escape. Once in range, the other 2 attacks will hit even if one is blocked. Escaping sideways is impossible, and the long katana will be able to make contact if the target tries to retreat back. Magical sword, swallow, reversal. A divine technique that surpasses even the powers of servants. This is the ultimate technique an unknown swordsman put his entire existence in perfecting. The long katana wavers. He steps in to reduce the distance between the opponents. A distance close enough to cut down Saber. From a distance that does not allow any defense, a constricting trajectory is unleashed. Saber is not going to use her sacred sword. To begin with, she can't use her noble phantasm from the distance the 2 are at. No matter how fast Saber's sacred sword may be, Assassin Swallow Reversal is much faster. Her head will surely fly while she tries to put magical energy in her sword. Thus, the only thing she can rely on is her sword skills. The blade's arc begins to move in. Even though this is her 2nd time seeing it, its precision and speed are astonishing. How much training did he do to be able to execute an attack like that? Yep. Circular, vertical. At that moment, Saber could only shudder. That attack cannot be blocked. This magical sword is man's attempt at challenging the gods and Buddha. Nobody but a god would be able to prevent or parry the attack. She holds her breath. In the back of her mind, there is a faint spark as small as a grain of sand. She doesn't think of what this is or if it's the right thing to do, but she risks everything on that one instinctual inspiration. There's the 3rd. She charges towards that victory with all she has. What did the fictional swordmaster think in seeing that? The silver armor slips through the gap between his arms. Under the swordsman's left elbow, between his waist and arm, she must have seen the slightest gap was the magical sword's blind spot. While her armor gets chipped away by the 3 blades that come flying, Saber curls herself up and rushes towards that one point. Her prediction? Her outstanding intuition allows her to execute that exquisite skill. She was able to foresee the complete form of the magical sword, which was yet to be seen, because she'd experienced the incomplete swallow reversal once. Yeah, that makes sense, because she's just so instinctively good at swordsmanship. However, that's not the surprising thing. What truly kept her alive was her determination. She trusted that momentary spark and put all of her abilities into that momentary gap. She shook off the fear that she might get cut up into pieces if she was even slightly delayed, and ran through the gap that was impossible to pass. And thus, her determination was what managed to defeat that magical blade. But the match is not over. Avoiding the swallow reversal puts her enemy right next to her, and her lunge outpaces the swordsman's draw. That position is not easy to recover from. The long katana flies. The recoiling blade is quick, even if it may not be as quick as the demonic blade. And yet... Oh, that's sick. Her attack slightly outperforms and is faster than the swordsman's. There it is. And look at his face. What a shot. Also, what a shot. That looks amazing. Oh, and what a shot again. He purses his lips. He closes his lips tightly and strains to keep himself from collapsing. The blood that flows back from his gut fills his mouth, but he swallows it, determined not to spit it out. The golden-haired knight stands below the swordsman. The swordsman code does not allow him to do something like defile his opponent and her brilliance with the expulsions from his innards. Saber says nothing. Strands of her golden hair flutter onto the stone stairs. It's a wonder her head is still attached. It's a miracle that her limbs were not sheared off. She felt her body would be cut in four the instant she went into that opening. She went all in for that tiny little, yep, with complete and utter determination. There was only one factor that made a difference: the swordsman's long katana. Had his blade not bent, his magical sword would have surely been invincible. Oh, that's awesome. And there's more shit going on over there. The air is rumbling, rumbling. Another battle is still going on behind the temple gate. Saber does not know what to say as she looks up at the dying swordsman. To that,
Yuke.
Yeah, of course, the swordsman says without looking at her. How much meaning is contained in that single word? Saber draws her sword and runs up the stairs with all her might. She doesn't turn back to the swordsman. She simply runs up to fulfill her role. Just like his role was fulfilled right there.
美しい小鳥だと思ったのだがな。その実、獅子の類であった。
He mutters, and the swordsman laughs, realizing it was inevitable. She avoided something that even a swallow could not avoid, and thus she was not an object to be admired and loved.
女を見る目には自信があったのだが、どちらも修行不足ということか。
That's pretty funny. The swordsman complains with a shrug. His form and his elegant haori were starting to fade. I'm assuming that's his outfit, but I don't know what a haori is, if that's even the correct pronunciation. His pierced stomach and his blood-stained feet become faint. Yet he looked at his situation unconcerned and sat down on the stone pavement. Whoa. The trees rustle. The wind coming down from the top of the mountain shake the forest. The time the flowers scatter, the birds disappears, the wind stops, and even the moon in the sky fades. The swordsman, who was just there, disappears without a trace, as if his existence was just an illusion. That's really cool. I really like that ended up being part of the finale. I mean, it caught me off guard, as it was supposed to, but I kind of like that they wrapped up that loose end the way they did in that instant. I deploy the strongest weapon out of all items I've ever replicated. But it won't even work as a shield against what is presented before me. The Sword of Rupture. The mysterious sword cuts through the wind, annihilates 6 noble phantasms, and severs my body. It's disappearing. My circuit gets disconnected, and the magical energy from Tohsaka has nowhere to go but back. I curse at my inadequacy. I knew I was inexperienced, but I seriously curse at myself for never really thinking of the implications or how that would affect me. Why do I have so few magic circuits? If only I had a little more. If only I had a little more and reached beyond that darkness a bit. I could have fought like him. I fall to the ground. I can't soften the impact, and I fly dozens of meters away, falling violently on my back. There's no pain from the impact. I've lost all sensation. Even my mind goes white and blank. Right before I head toward death, my last thought is how amazed I am that my limbs are still attached.
そこまでか。やはり偽物は偽物だったな。お前では何も救えない。
So what's gonna happen here? Saber? Rin? Both of them? My heartbeat gets weaker. My lungs are not moving and my trachea is frozen.
これならば、アーチャーが残った方が楽しめた。奴も贋作者だったが、その理念は俗物ではなかったからな。
Funny that. You'll find that really funny. The fact that I can't see isn't because my eyes are damaged. Right now, everything inside me is messed up and my body has ceased to function properly. Maybe I would consider that to be fortunate. I've forgotten all sensation of pain, so I should be able to die easily at this rate.
ああ、そういえば奴も言っていたな。お前の理念は借り物だと。自身から生み出したものが一つとしてない男が何かをなそうなどと、よくも思い上がれたものだ。
I can't let that happen. Even if the pain causes me to be brain dead if I come to my senses, I tell myself I need to regain consciousness and stand up. My deeply rooted psyche is pointing to a certain place and telling me something. Yep.
正義の味方？誰も傷つかない世界だと？おかしなことを。誰も傷つかず幸福を保つ世界などない。
Unfortunately, that's probably true. But that doesn't mean that such an ideal is not worth striving for, right? Like, both can be true, I feel like.
人間とは、犠牲がなくては生を謳歌できぬ獣の名だ。平等という綺麗事は、闇を直視できぬ弱者のざれ事に過ぎぬ。
The pretense of equality is nothing more than drivel by the weak who cannot face darkness is crazy.
雑種。お前の理想とやらは、醜さを覆い隠すだけの言い訳に過ぎん。
See, even if that's true, my counterpoint here would be, and what's wrong with that? I raise my arm, even though it shouldn't be able to move. Oh, here he fucking goes. This fucking broken-ass motherfucker is just always... He really is such a shonen protagonist. Like, what the fuck? My body is on the ground and my consciousness is on the brink of death. I raise my arm to grab onto something like I did on that fateful day. I don't know what's funny, but someone's laughing. The high-pitched laughter that assaults my ears sounded like everyone in the entire world was laughing. A fake wish. A borrowed ideal. That dream won't come true, someone sneers. Yeah, they're right. I just imagine this being like... I'm imagining this being every character from Fate. Like, everyone we met. Hero or villain. Just all of them just one by one. Like, I'm imagining... Again, without getting into specifics, even though I imagine most of the people watching this have probably seen Ava, I'm kind of imagining some endgame Ava stuff, kind of here. These thoughts of mine are borrowed. I just admired the wish to help someone because it was beautiful. There's nothing that came from me. I was always driven by this curse-like obsession that my body needed to be for someone else. That's why it's fake. Such hypocrisy will save nothing in the end. First of all, I don't even know what needs to be saved. But I also still feel that's beautiful. Yeah, this is kind of what I was saying, but, you know, this is more in the Shirou way. That concept did not come from me. I just saw someone save someone else and mimicked it. Funny that, right? Funny! Funny how, like, the themes of Shirou as a character relate directly to his power. It's almost like this is written by somebody who understands writing principles. Crazy. On that day, I was empty inside. Everyone died indiscriminately, and I couldn't save anyone. I couldn't suppress my terror at that sight that was unraveling before me, and I had no choice but to resign myself to the fact that humans were weak. That's why I admired that ideal. I cried at the preciousness of it because I didn't have it myself. Is that wrong? Is it fake because it's not my own feelings? Is it wrong for that wish to come true if it's fake? No. I don't think it's wrong. I don't care if it's fake. Even unattainable ideals just need to be fulfilled. It was a dream that couldn't be granted from the start. An unreachable utopia. The ever-distant utopia. Shoutouts to the Fate route. Then, even if Emi Shirou is a fake, the thing that is there is undeniably real. God, this show is so good at, like, themes and, like its core tenets of what makes this game what it is, what makes this story what it is. Like, it has such a great understanding and grasp of the story it's trying to tell that, like, its themes are so potent. It's the reason why this game has made me an emotional wreck. Like, I don't even know how many times at this point. The ironic thing is, I don't think this finale is gonna get me, but I've thought that before. I haven't felt like this has been awesome, and I'm loving it. But I haven't felt like, even though this is the first, I feel like, really emotional, like, moment. And even then, I don't, like, to me, the emotional core finale of this was the Shirou Emiya stuff. I know that's literally that name's on the screen, but you know what I mean. Archer versus Shirou. That was like the emotional climax, whereas I really resonated with the actual final fight in Fate, whereas here I feel like this is awesome, but this feels like after the emotional climax for me. Who knows, maybe they'll get me there. It is Fate Stay Night. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm crying by the end of this episode, but I'm not expecting it. Yep. These are all the things that we've went through up to this point. In your past, in your present, and quite literally in your future as well. I know I can't save everything. I know that there's no salvation without sacrifice. Now that I'm adult, I understand that's reality. Despite knowing that such a thing was only an ideal, I continued to seek for it. It doesn't end when someone gets hurt. Even if the best outcome is for someone to get hurt in order to save many, I'm still gonna seek a version of happiness where nobody gets hurt. There's no justice in this world. The reality is that people keep dying for nothing. Yeah? But I don't think resigning to that idea is right. See, I love those 3 lines because he's acknowledging the fact that people die for no reason. That is a reality of our existence, of our world, whether obviously in Fate or in real life. But that doesn't mean that we have to give up and stop striving to make that perfect world. And in the end, he reached this place. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, Unlimited Blade Works? Is it gonna happen? What he believes, what he believed, he said they were all hypocrisy. But the one who said that followed through on his hypocrisy till the end. Knowing that, I can keep going. Yeah, if he didn't give up, if he believed in his bullshit until the very end, how can you not? Younger Emiya, even if I borrowed his ideals, even if I'm going to stay a fake, I don't care. And the funny thing about me saying younger Emiya is I could be referring to Archer or Kiritsugu, because both apply here. I don't have such complicated feelings that I have to worry about too much in the first place. I thought to myself, on the Hill of Swords, if I could save just the world that I can see, I'll fight for it. So good. I didn't even have to think about it. My world is small. This small world is all I've ever been able to create. That's right. This body of mine is made of solid swords. Yeah, that's why I'll be able to endure most things. It's crazy because he's literally also a sheath. Like, there's so much weird shit going on with this boy. I could stick to my dreams until the very end. Even the wear and tear over the years. And even if at the end, none of what I sought was there. Yep. It's gotta be. It's gotta be, right? He's gotta go full reality marble up in this bitch. I get up. The moment I regain consciousness, my limbs move. My body still moves after I get up with great force. It's a wonder I'm not only alive, but able to stand up after that sword's blow, but it doesn't matter. If I'm alive, there must be a reason why. It's something that I just have no control over. Interesting, so that was Gilgamesh's sword. Like his true sword?
存外にしぶといな小僧。
出し惜しみそんだけ山ほど持っておいて今さら何を惜しむってんだ
I steady my breath while keeping my distance. I know how to do it now. I'm sure I could do it with Tohsaka's backup. The problem would be my casting time. I may have memorized it, but I don't know how fast I can get it to work for me unless I try.
今のは覇者にのみ許された剣だ。今日が乗ったゆえ見せてやったが、本来雑種などに使うものではない。
Interesting.
エアと打ち合う権利を持つ者はセイバーだけだ。
Yep.
お前のような偽物に使ってはセイバーに合わせる顔がない。
Interesting. Numerous noble phantasms appear, but all of them are third-rate weapons. After seeing the sword I just saw, the difference is obvious. Those weapons are still not to be taken lightly. Normally, they would be more than enough to kill me. The difference in our strength has not changed. Even though I miraculously survived that last attack, I'm no match against that servant with just my projection.
ほう、真似事はおしまいか。ようやく無駄と分かったらしい。
I don't know about that.
ならば潔く消えるがいい。偽物を作るその頭蓋、一片たりとも残しはせん。
I will not leave a single piece of cranium that makes you a fake is pretty funny. The floating noble phantasms are deployed with his snap of his fingers. Oh, Saber. Saber's gonna buy him the time. But then, a gust of blue wind intervenes between us.
セイバーか。
Gilgamesh instantly jumps back. Even Gilgamesh is cautious against Saber. I love that he respects her. I mean, in his own way. Seeing as his swordsmanship is inferior, he probably wants to avoid hand-to-hand combat with Saber.
よかった。無事ですか、シロ。遅くなりました。あとは私が受け持ちます。シロは離れて。
いや、ギルガメッシュは俺一人で何とかできる。
That's crazy.
Saber.
That's a crazy line. Yeah, both of them are like, what? Yeah, both of them are like, huh?
何を言うのです、シロ。その体で彼の相手をすると。いえ、そもそも魔術師ではサーバントには太刀打ちできない。
Well,
はあなたもよく知っているでしょう。
not necessarily.
けど俺とあいつだけは例外だ。信じろ。
Yeah. That's something that Archer believed wholeheartedly.
俺はきっとあいつに勝てる。
Saber gasps. Both of their faces are great there. Like, what in the world are you talking about, bro? Saber is surprised because she believes what I'm saying.
セイバーは境内の裏に急いでくれ。トーサカが一人で聖杯を止めてる。けど、あれを壊せるのはセイバーだけだ。
A few seconds? No. Not even a second passed after she tightly closed her eyes once.
ご分を。リンは私が必ず。
Alright. She says exactly what I want to hear and steps away from Gilgamesh. She has faith that you can do this, Shirou. Because she believes like the way you're saying it. It's not like the old Shirou saying that being like a dumb idiot. Like there's genuine confidence here. It's different.
セイバ
The
ー、
silver armor turns away. Saber. I call out to her just once.
お前を救うことが俺にはできなかった。
And I say it. I'm going to try to tell her on behalf of the times I spent with her and the times he spent thinking of her.
あの聖杯はお前が望んでいるものじゃないと思う。だからよく見極めておくんだ。次は決して間違えないように。
Whoa.
シロ。
That's a crazy line.
ごめん。うまく言えない。俺はお前のマスターにはふさわしくなかったんだろう。
In a way, yes, and in a way, no. Like I think you were worthy in some ways, unworthy in others.
だから
I couldn't even find out what she really wanted.
そんなことはない。シロは私のマスターだ。
Don't let Ren say that. Hear that?
セイバー、
サーバントとして責務を果たしてきます。伝えたいことはその後に。
Yo, that's crazy. She runs off without turning back. Her gallant appearance is like a gust of wind. Yeah, makes sense given her... Yeah, that tracks. Alright. Like, that was a badass, but you have to live up to that. You have to live up to everything you just said now, Shirou. You gotta cook. Without the slightest doubt, she believed my words when I said I would beat my opponent and left to save Tohsaka. Alright. Let's go. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Title theme time. From here on, there's no room for expectation. Here we go. All I need to do is defeat the enemy in front of me. That's a crazy face.
正気か貴様。ただ一つの勝機を逃し、あの小娘を助けさせるだと。
We'll see.
たわけめ。自らを犠牲にする行為など全て偽りに過ぎぬ。それを未だ悟れぬとは筋金の入った偽善者だ。
He is a bona fide hypocrite, but that doesn't really have anything to do with the fact that he's about to beat your ass. I believe in him. Let's go.
それだけは称えてやろう、小僧。
I do kind of love Gilgamesh, though. He's such an asshole. He's not my favorite villain. I definitely will say, like, Castor, God, oh my god, Castor is so good. One of the revelations of this route was Castor's a goddess. It's hard for me to say anyone but Kirei is the best villain in this game, though. Even though I am, like, I love Castor so much now. Medea. His noble phantasms deploy. There's less than 30 of them. If I want to block them, I'll just have to create them.
贋作、偽善者か。はあ、別にそういうのも悪くない。確かに、俺はフェイカーだからな。
Oh, I love that. I am a faker. I raise one of my arms. I close one eye and turn my mind to look within.
勘違いしてた。俺の牽制っていうのは剣を作ることじゃないんだ。そもそも俺にはそんな器用な真似なんてできっこない。
Okay, let him cook. That's right. Tohsaka told me this. I could only use one type of magecraft. Strengthening and projection are just byproducts of what I actually do.
そうだ。俺にできることはただ一つ。自分の心を 形にすることだけだった。
Yep. I turn. I grab my outstretched right arm with my left hand and glare at Gilgamesh.
体は剣でできている。
Ah! He's saying the thing. It doesn't sound right with his voice, though. It sounds so much better with his older, sexier voice. I say the spell. I am the bone of my sword. But also, wrong language. Casting is only a method of suggestion to change oneself. These words were naturally there to connect me.
そうか。よまいごとはそこまでだ。
Here we go. Numerous noble phantasms get released. He's about to do it. He's about to do it! I create. That's why I had one eye open. I drag out a shield from the hill to block the oncoming noble phantasms. Yeah, we've seen this shield before. Yep. The swarm of swords strike wildly. The shield is Emiya Shirou, myself. The 7-petal shield cracks, and my body chips away with every fracture.
塩は鉄で、心はガラス。
Steel is my body, and fire is my blood. Oh my god, it just became the shield itself. There's only one place I need to reach. The power that surges forth immediately fills me to capacity. Nani? What is he so surprised about? Is he shocked that his treasure can't even penetrate through my single shield? Or is he surprised by the rush of magical energy?
幾度の戦場を越えて腐敗。ただの一度の敗走もなく。
I have created over 1,000 blades, unaware of loss, nor aware of gain. Oh man. Yep, there's the shield again. It's going to break. The surging magical energy can't be suppressed. 10 units of magical energy, filling a single magical circuit, break the foundation to find release.
突破できんだと?
My blood flows backwards. The shield is full of holes. Even if its noble phantasms do not reach me, my body is full of holes already. And yet...
担い手はここに一人。
Yep.
剣の丘で鉄を。
Withstood pain to create weapons, waiting for one's arrival. Interesting how it's slightly... Yeah, okay. Slightly altered. Magical energy rages out of control. But I don't care. My body is a circuit that solely exists to use a certain magecraft, and that magecraft alone. So there should be something beyond that. There should be something beyond that if I can't make it with this circuit. No. Even now, it's there. It's just not visible. There were no circuit limitations from the very beginning. You just couldn't visualize it. If what was preventing it was not a wall, but darkness, then the limit is somewhere beyond the darkness. I have no regrets. This is the only path. Yep. Yep. Break right through it. The shield itself. 10 units of magical energy filling a single magic circuit break the foundation to find release. And I will use 100 circuits to take in 1,000 units of magical energy. Bro, my whole life was unlimited blade works. That's crazy! He said the thing! I say its true name. Oh my god. In that instance. Oh my god, there it is. Look at all those circuits. Everything shatters and regenerates. And there's the flames. Yep, yep, yep. We're getting a super quick version of it. There we are. Flames rush. We didn't even get to see the gears. The fire becomes a wall that creates a boundary and changes the world. A wasteland follows. A hill with countless swords in disarray reveals itself before me. How does this place look to that guy? The golden servant simply stands there with a seething look on his face and confronts his enemy. No. You never were a sword maker, Shirou.
無限に剣を内包した世界を
Exactly!
それだけがエミやシロに許された魔術だった。
Yep. Words very similar to ones we've heard before. A desolate world. A graveyard where there are no living creatures, only swords. In this world where swords get replicated just by looking directly at them, every sword in existence is here. Oh! This is Emiya Shiro's world. A reality marble. Yep. He did the thing! The greatest forbidden magecraft that materializes the caster's mental world. This is the heroic spirit Emiya's noble phantasm, and the only weapon I possess. Infinite sword creation. Yep. I love that. E to A++. Interesting. I'm assuming that's the new information there. Everything is here, and nothing is here. That's why it's called Unlimited Bladeworks. As someone who lived his whole life as a sword, this is the only definite and tangible answer he was able to obtain. So good. So fucking good.
こういう結界、それが貴様の能力か。
I take a step forward. Surrounding me are the swords that were floating behind him earlier.
驚くことはない。これは全て偽物だ。お前の言う取るに足らない存在だ。
Yep. I stretch out my arms. The swords stuck in the ground come out easily as if accepting me as their wielder.
だがな、偽物が本物にかなわないなんて道理はない。
Why not?
お前が本物だと言うなら、ことごとくを凌駕して、その存在を叩き落とそう。
I step forward. In front of me is the servant who possesses thousands of treasures, but your Bladeworks is unlimited. Oh! All the different weapons. Oh my god.
行くぞ英雄王。武器の貯蔵は十分か。
Yep. Yeah, he's like, you don't have enough weapons. The thing that makes you so unbeatable is you always overwhelm people with weapons, but even if my weapons are fake, I got more than you, because I'm unlimited.
思い上がったな、雑種!
Yep. The enemy opens his gate and deploys numerous noble phantasms. I charge through the wasteland. Here, the two different groups of swords begin their final clash. Okay, back to Rin. Okay, I dig it. The first thing Saber sees after taking a detour in the temple grounds and reaching the lake is a massive lump of meat. I know this was Saber's voice, but you get my point. She is not like any other knight. She fought many kinds of monsters when she was called a hero. She has even fought dragonkin, famed to be the strongest of the phantasmal species. But even Saber can only falter at that lump of meat. It's not because of how unsightly it is because she can tell that the curse released from that shape, that lump of meat, is the same as herself, yep.
サーバント。召喚を間違えれば、サーバントとはあそこまで変わるものなのか。
That's crazy. Or is it the power of the Holy Grail? She stares at the lump of meat, stunned, and shakes her head.
リン、どこにいるのです。リン。
She runs to the lake and yells to the lump of meat on the opposite shore. She is hesitant to enter the black mud inside the lake. It's not because it is unpleasant. Her instincts tell her that she cannot touch it as a servant who is a half-spirit, which is, ironically, something that Rin also hypothesized. She hears a voice calling. It is faint, but she hears her master's commands. She looks closely and searches around the lump of meat. She steps forward without hesitation. Saber's body stops. She retreats and stares at the lump of meat while readying her sword.
いいからダメ。その泥に触れたらあなただってこうなるわよ。 いいからセイバーはそこで宝具の準備をして。この塊はもうすぐ弾けるわ。その前に宝具でぶった切っちゃって。
As long as you get out of there first, girl. And preferably, you know, if you can... Oops, no, I don't want that. If you can save, if you could save Shinji, that's cool. But, like, you know, if it comes down to it, maybe just save yourself, girl. I'm just saying. You know. Just saying. Saber cannot nod to her master's tense voice. She can tell that the lump of meat is about to hatch. The squirms turn into throbs, and the quantity of mud spat out continues increasing. The lake turns black, and the black mud is overflowing onto the ground. That thing is growing. The world's restraining power will be activated if that thing is left alone. It is natural for her to destroy it with her sacred sword before that happens. But to do that...
リン、外に。池にさえ出てしまえば、あとは私が。よね。オッケー、任せた。けどもし間に合わなかったら、間に合う方を取って。
Of course, Rin's willing to make that sacrifice, no surprise.
セイバーとの契約は切れちゃうけど、シローが無事ならなんとかなるでしょう。バカなことを。構いません。何に変わろうが、このような呪い蹴散らして。
Saber runs into the black mud, heading towards the lump of meat. But her body does not move. Her body stops just when she tries to go near the lake.
令嬢。
Ah.
当然でしょう。聖杯を壊せる唯一の人材を、
Yep.
むざむざ死なせるわけにはいかないもの。
Yep.
それに心配無用だってば。この程度、簡単に振り切って逃げ出すから。
Yep.
セイバーはそこで大船に乗ったつもりで政権の準備をしてなさい。リン。
Thoughts that she commands are full of composure as always. But needless to say, it is just a bluff. The lump of meat on the opposite shore. Her master that is there has nowhere to run. And there's Shinji, or what kind of Shinji?
まあ、言うはやすしってやつだけど。
Sort of Shinji. Mostly Shinji. God only knows, honestly. Also gross. She murmurs while being surrounded by strange arms made of meat. Great. The situation is hopeless. Shinji Mato was saved. She ripped off the blood vessels and nerves which had melted into his whole body and took him out of the lump of meat. One could say he's alive if one turns a blind eye to the after effects he may have. No, although he has fainted. One could say that he is better off than the girl carrying him. That's crazy.
問題はその後か。そりゃ心臓取られちゃ暴れるわよね。シンジを返せば見逃してくれるかな。
Probably not, but maybe. She slowly goes outside while staring at the tentacles blocking her way. There is no exit. The tentacles are already blocking the way out to the lake. Even if she were to escape the tentacles that are trying to wrap around her and swallow her whole, she wouldn't be able to break through the part that has become a wall. And she pretty much used all her tricks she had left just to survive the mud and get to the mass of flesh that is the Holy Grail. She almost falls along with Shinji Mato and holds out with all her might. Going past the cursed sea and crossing the floating island of meat, she even performed neurosurgery to separate Shinji Mato from the lump of meat. Of course she did, because she's badass as fuck. Magical neurosurgery is crazy, by the way. At that point, the girl's magical energy had even broken into the reserve tank that she had not used for a long time.
もうあのバカ、遠慮なしで人の魔力持ってくんだから。おかげでこっちはもうすっからかんじゃない。
I know you're being a tsundere, but he is literally fighting Gilgamesh. She bears the dizziness as she complains. Of course she didn't mean it. She was just saying that. Yeah, of course. Besides, things wouldn't change even if she had magical energy left, sure. The tentacles surrounding the girl have stopped because their prey is docile. Once they figure out that the thing that has invaded their body is poisonous, they'll take immediate action. Yeah, that makes sense. Tohsaka Rin Tohsaka, and Shinji Mato are alive because she does not have enough magical energy left for them to prey on. That's wild. It's actually pretty cool, though.
けど、ここまでかな。いい加減立ってるのも辛く。
Her vision grows hazy. Although she is able to get a foothold, that does not change how she is still on mud. Heat is encroaching on her nerves by the second. If she falls onto the platform of meat, she herself will become the core of the Holy Grail this time. Yeah, that would just make things worse, I guess. Honestly. Before that...
ごめんね、セイバー。言うこと聞かないだろうから、無理やり聞かせる。
Oh no. There is one command spell left. That is enough to make Saber standing by on the opposite shore use her sacred sword.
あと、あんたにも謝っとかないと。シンジ、助けられ、なんか。
Yeah, there's no way that's how this is ending.
いいから走れ。そのような泣き言。
What?
聞く耳持たん。
What? Excuse me? Yeah, we know that voice. I'm not confusing that voice. What in the world? Her body that's about to collapse stops. That voice. Yeah, we know who that voice is. Are the thoughts coming to her mind instead of her ears? Those of the servant that she had made a contract with? No shot. She has no time to be bewildered. She knows his personality well. He told her to run, so he must have done something that she wouldn't be able to escape from if she didn't run. What the hell? What in the world? What the hell? What in the world? She runs through. The arrows that rain from the sky are like a downpour. She smashes everything that gets in her way, whether it is a net, platform, or tentacles of meat. She has no time to look back. She runs through with all her might while carrying Shinji Mato. She jumps into the lake. The arrows have swept the way for her escape route. Describing them as arrows is crazy, by the way, but, you know, archer, I guess. In just a short time, the black mud is repelled, and only dirty water leads to the shore. She runs across the lake while carrying Shinji Mato. She runs to the shore soaking wet with latent energy that shocks even her. Yep, now. Yep, she was ready. Her magical energy replies to the screaming voice. There is no need to check. Yep, straight in. The golden sword is raised and with overwhelming firepower mows down everything in its sight. The mountain of meat is cut in half and collapses. The black mud evaporates and the band of light changes the lake itself into a flat wasteland. I mean, that's kind of victory, but we haven't actually... I mean, this is one victory. The other victory is coming after. It is a rapid stream of light that eliminates everything. In the midst of that, the swordsman accepted the end of her battle. Yo.
これで終わり。私の戦いはここまでです。
Yep. Who was that addressed to? The wielder of the sacred sword goes to her knees and gazes at the light with a flood of emotions. The crumbling holy grail, the thing that she sought, the thing that was supposed to save her, she destroyed it with her own hands, and the King of Knights finally realized her mistake. One boy and one hero. That man who had become twisted at the end of his ideal that he held for a long time was still a boy. Oh, that's so good. His regrets, and no, I'm not crying before anyone says, you know, but I admit this is really good. His regrets are so heavy that they cannot be carried, and his sins are so deep that they cannot be atoned for. But there was something that he did not give up on. At the very end, the Knight in Red has reached an answer that no one can affect. Then, she has to move forward as well. In her last moment, wounded, she took her hands off her sword. She will run past that hill with her own will.
契約は完了した。あなたたちの勝利だ、リン。
Hell yeah. You won the Holy Grail War, Rin! The sacred sword fades. There is still magical energy left. She could stay in this world if she pushes herself. If possible, she wanted to watch over what awaits them until the end.
ですが、それは私の役割ではない。
Oh!
シローにはリンがついています。
Yeah, this is unlimited blade works after all. The knight's body continues to fade until it vanishes, engulfed by the light. You guys obviously can't see me, but I am saluting my girl Saber. Shoutouts. Shoutouts, Artoria. Shoutouts. Like a graceful gust of wind, the king who sought the Holy Grail sets off for the hill of destiny without leaving a single memory behind. And now they're gonna switch over back to Gilgamesh versus Shirou. Yep. I matched the repeated attacks from the long sword with a long sword. The swords offset each other and the fragments are sent flying into the atmosphere. The handle of a curved sword appears behind him. You can tell that we're doing work because he's getting really upset. But I'm faster. I pull out the curved sword at his feet and swing it straight at him. Yep. Oh my god, that face on Shirou was crazy. Yo, 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 yo! Yo! Gilgamesh retreats. I love how you can barely even tell what swords they're holding. I close the distance at once, pull out the sword, and slash at him. I match my sword to the rapid successions of noble phantasms. This song's about to pop off. Wait for it. I'm not thinking. My body and will stop. My body and mind will stop if I stop. Yep. Kind of a little similar to his fight with Emiya, even though it's a little different too. I will keep moving forward now. The instant I see a noble phantasm, I reel in the same one that I have at hand and strike him down with all my might. Yep. Yeah. Because it's a fake that surpassed the real thing. Nobody said that a faker can't be better than the original. The sounds of clashing swords echo through the area. It is an arena of sorts, the Unlimited Blade Works wasteland. He cannot handle my attacks and has to destroy my weapon with his. There it goes, there it goes. Oh, I love this theme. That will be the cause of his defeat. Having over 1,000 noble phantasms, he is the greatest heroic spirit without a doubt. But he is no more than an owner. He is not a wielder who only has one noble phantasm, but is able to use that to his fullest potential. Yeah, he's almost in a weird way, almost like the ultimate master, not the ultimate servant. If my opponent was another servant, I would not be able to match them, even if I made a world like this. Even if I have infinite swords, I can't beat an enemy who has a single ultimate noble phantasm. I'm sure Gilgamesh would be able to, but I don't have enough physical ability to. Yep. He's just the perfect matchup. Therefore, the only servant that I can close in on is this man. It's just a bad matchup for Gilgamesh. A realized Shirou. If we have the same ability and are both owners, I'll go a step ahead of him since I already have swords prepared. Yep. His Seiyu's really good. Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh raises his arm. The hilt that appears behind him is that demonic sword. Yep, the one with 2 letters. The only sword that does not exist in this world. Yep. Oh! Blood? Oh shit, I swing my twin swords. Aye! They literally are your twin swords in a sense. They are the closest thing to yours, anyways. I immediately draw Kansho and Bakuya and cut off his arm as it reaches for his magical sword. Yo! The weapons come to a halt. He got his arm. He loses his best sword and is left completely defenseless. My body acts before I can think. With victory assured, my arms and legs drive me into the King of Heroes space even more sharply to slice his body in two. He jumps back. Gilgamesh retreats, barely dodging my twin swords. That's a crazy admission from him. Gilgamesh admits his defeat and tries to retreat. I'll lose if he regains his composure. I have to settle the match at this moment before this heat cools down. He must have realized that he would not be able to escape as he pulls out a noble phantasm from behind him with his remaining arm. But I'm faster. Meanwhile, I'll surely... Are we about to get a choice? Oh. Wait, both of them are surprised? Our voices overlap. That change is instant. The flash of light coming from the lake eliminates the hill of swords. The massive magical energy wiped away the already disappearing reality marble. That's fine. The match is settled. I could defeat the servant just by swinging these twin swords. That's crazy. But after that... A black hole. What the fuck? A round void big enough to swallow a human whole appears before me on Gilgamesh's body. Ah. Well... I mean, he was never supposed to be here in the first place, and with the Holy Grail destroyed, now he's doubly not supposed to be here. Gilgamesh looks down at his own body, appalled. His body is being swallowed. The golden servant is being swallowed up by the hole that is opened inside him. Holy shit, we just won. Oh my god. I can't believe... I can't believe I'm here. I'm not gonna lie. I can't believe I'm here. This is, like, surreal. I can't even imagine the emotions I will feel when we beat Heaven's Feel in, like, 20,000 years. When I'm, like, 87. I mean, I just turned 28. Fucking 8. I'm 28 when I'm recording this. Crazy. What a great way to start October, though. Did he want to say wait? The void mercilessly swallows the servant. I love how not, like, just, nope, bye. There was no way for him to escape. The void was opened in his own body, after all. There's no way he can escape from something that is in his body. The remnants of the Holy Grail, I guess. I stand there dumbfounded. The void in front of me gets smaller by the moment. I don't know what this is, but it seems like Tohsaka and Saber were able to destroy the Holy Grail. My only guess is that this black void appeared from that effect and he vanished. Everything is over. The twin swords disappear. The magical energy occupying my body rapidly fades, and at the same time... Yeah, you did get, like, absolutely fucked. Fatigue assails me. Be crazy if he died. Here, I want to go see how Tohsaka's doing right away, but my body won't move. Well, I'm sure she's doing fine since Saber went to her. I can rest a bit. And the moment I take a deep breath... What the fuck? Chains? A chain wraps around my arm. What on earth? Bro's like, have you seen this noble phantasm before? I think you might have. My breath stops. The chain that's mercilessly wrapped around my arm pulls me towards the black hole. Dude, he's so vengeful. He's like, I will drag you in with me. I put strength in my limbs, but I can't resist at all. My feet slide toward the void along with the very ground they are planted on. That fool is in Kire? What in the world is happening? The thing crawling from the void was definitely him. But that body is melted here and there. That void must melt anything it swallows. I try to pull the chain off of me, but it doesn't budge. This chain restrained even Berserker. It's not something that I could take off no matter how hard I try. Yep. We have seen the chains before. I'm getting drawn in. I'll be swallowed like him if I go near that void.
たわけ死ぬつもりなど毛頭ないわ踏みとどまれゲロウ俺がその場に戻るまでな
Jesus.
こいつ
He's so arrogant even in a situation like this. That kind of makes him base, though, that even in this situation, he's being an absolute ass. But what should I do? I can't get the chain up no matter what I do. Oh my god, are we going to get a choice? I've been wondering if there was going to be a final choice at some point. I'll fall into the void along with him like this. Even if I hold out, he'll pull himself out then. It means I'm going to die either way. This is a crazy choice. Bullshit, I'm not going that easily. I feel dizzy. My body can't hold out any longer. I'm going to die. I can't endure it in the very end. Then, if I can't endure it anyway, should I loosen up? If I do so, I should at least be able to push him back into that void. I re-energize my weakening limbs. Will my arm tear off first? Will his chain rip off first? Or will he crawl out first? It doesn't matter. I'll fight until the very end and die a flashy death. Nice, nice.
Oh
my god. What in the world? What are you doing, Emiya? How are you here? Bro's like, I'm gonna bail everyone out because I'm the god. I'm the best character. Fuck all of you. God, I love him so much. Oh. I mean, like, my feelings about Emiya, or about Shirou, are so weird knowing that he turns into what he turns into. It's like fucking with everything that I think about this. Because, like, Archer is so fucking cool. I turn around immediately. I look at the temple grounds in the distance, which has become a wasteland. Like, obviously, I think Shirou's a great character. He's just... I don't, like him. I think he's an incredibly well-written character and one of the best characters in the series. But, you know, I just don't think he's super likable, generally speaking. Whereas Archer is. So it's like, it's such a fuck, like, because Archer and Rin are probably still my favorite characters, even though I love Saber. Like I said, I love Castor, I love Kirei. God only knows. It's hard. This game's amazing. Something flies by as if brushing past me. Dude, just right in the forehead. That's a crazy shot, by the way. The chain comes off. In the end, looking like he saw something unexpected, he lets go of the chain of the heavens. And that is actually GG. I fall on my butt. The void shrinks to the size of my palm and vanishes as I look on, dumbfounded. Everyone, both Rin and Shirou got saved by the same guy. Unable to even stand, I look at the wasteland behind me. What in the world? Dawn is near. The one with the rising sun behind him is the knight wearing a red cloak. What the fuck? You god. Yeah! That's literally what I'm saying. You literally took everyone's thunder, saved everyone's bacon, and are just, like, absolutely a Chad. Like, what in the world? I love it, but I'm a little baffled. Like, I love it. It's so in character, but it's absolutely ridiculous at the same time. It's so good. I subconsciously complain, but I can't help but smile happily. I have nothing I want to say, so I'll keep quiet so that I can sleep. The golden ground that became a wasteland. Seeing the knight stand there and Tohsaka running to him, I lie down on the ground. Tohsaka should say everything I want to say to him on my behalf. So I'll sleep for now. I'm sure we'll end up fighting if we see each other again, and I'm not used to saying farewell to myself. Everything about that's hilarious. And for the final time, I engrave my ideal into my mind. I won't forget it, and slowly close my eyes. Whoa. The ground that he stands on is similar to the wasteland that I saw before. There's nothing around. There's nothing extra on this summit where everything was blown away. Battle is ended. The battle for the Holy Grail is ended, and the curtain is about to fall on his battle as well. He does not know how long it was. Well, this might be a new track as well. But the accumulated wish that should have bound him forever is gone now. The end quickly permeates into him and melts this era's version of his body. Aww, Rin and Archer, my squad. I obviously understand why we play as Shirou, and it's phenomenal, but like, how badly I would have loved to have played as Rin with Archer as my servant. Like, God, that version sounds peak as well. I mean, obviously we get a taste of that in the prologue, but prologue, but oh my God. He looks towards the voice calling him. That girl must not have the spare energy to run, but she runs to him, breathing unsteadily. He quietly watches her. Oh! They're trying to be cute. The girl that ran up to him looks up at the night, still breathing unsteadily. Oh! The red cloak flowing in the wind shows no trace of what it used to be. It is torn everywhere and his armor is cracked and broken. Yeah, you can see some of the cracks there. His existence is weak. The night that stands still with haughtiness, just like the time they first met, starts to disappear from his feet up. Oh! 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 Dude, that's crazy. Ren gets to watch both of her servants disappear one after another. Dawn approaches in the distance. The golden sun rises faintly from the horizon. What in the world?
残念だったな。そういうわけだ。今回の聖杯は諦めろ、リン。
I don't think that's a concern. Also, we're making him look like 20,000 feet tall in this. Does he not have anything special to say? The Red Knight says a trivial thing like that. It gets the girl all the more. With that body that was about to disappear, the night was the same night as before. An ally that she trusted and ran through the night with, who had her back while making sarcastic remarks. I just want to see, like, the universe where we get to see, like, Rin. Like, I don't know how many years, like, theoretically in the future this version of Archer is, but let's just say, hypothetically, like, Archer and Emiya and Tohsaka, like, 15 years in the future. I need that in my life. Just this version of Emiya, but, like, a slightly, like, nicer, but still, like, sarcastic asshole. And then whatever a, you know, however old Rin would act like. And, like, I just need that so bad. She could declare that those memories were fun, looking back at them. Oh. And they are still in front of her, unchanged. He remained to save her at the last moment. He lost his master and withstood the noble phantasm of the King of Heroes. Of course he did. Because he did. Because, yeah, I mean, we literally saw Shirou do that. Like, I guess it only, in a weird way, it kind of only makes sense. His body was disappearing, but he didn't ask for her help and watched over their battle. That end is in front of her. Oh, give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Inject it into my veins. Just like we're injecting heroin. Oh, the girl can't think of what she should say. It's always like that for her at the most crucial times. They made him look 20, like 8 feet tall, by the way. She loses her quick-wittedness when she needs it the most. The knight smiles slightly. He knew that from the start. The girl's clumsiness is a memory more fond than anything to the knight in red. Aww.
何よ、こんな時だってのに笑うことないじゃない。
It's the perfect time to laugh, honestly. She looks up at the knight, annoyed.
いや、失礼。君の姿があんまりにもあれなものでね。
Remind you of old times.
お互い、よくもここまでボロボロになったと呆れたのだ。
You've both gone through hell. He still has a smile even as he banters. Dude, I love how Shirou defeated Emiya, and yet Emiya still saved Shirou's ass in the end. It's so stupid, but I love it. She gets a lump in her throat from seeing his face free of regrets. She wonders if it's okay. The moment she wonders if it's okay for him to disappear like this.
あーちゃん、もう一度私と契約して。
Dude, if he's about to say you're asking the wrong person, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. It's like there's somebody else you could form a contract with, or something like that. He obviously talking about himself. She says those words that she shouldn't say.
それはできない。リンがセイバーと契約を続けるのかは知らないが、私にその権利はないだろう。それに、もう目的がない。
Yep.
私の戦いはここで終わりだ。
Bro's like, I'm finally free. And you have someone else that you could form a contract with. Wink, wink. His answer is no doubt, and his will is pure. His face is as bright as the sunrise. Now could she force him when he's making a face like that? Aw.
けどそれじゃあんたはいつまで経っても。
Be saved. The girl swallows her words and looks down. I don't think so. In the end, I think he finally was saved. That is not something the girl should say, and it wouldn't be granted even if she kept the knight in this world.
参ったな。この世に未練はないが。
It's troubling to have this girl cry. For him, the girl always has to be positive, realistic, and indulgent, because that's his version of Rin in his head, right? Because we've spent a lot of time in his head, just a little bit younger version of him. He was always encouraged by her. That's why he wanted this girl to be her usual self until the very end. The girl looks up at the sound of his voice. Her face trying to hold back her tears is adorable. Rather than expressing the slight attachment that he feels, he looks at the collapsed boy in the distance.
私を頼む。知っての通り、頼りないやつだから。
Let's go! I would have died if he said form a contract with him instead, but this works too.
君が支えてやってくれ。
Aww. The knight says objectively. Those are words of farewell. The future might change. If a girl like her stays by Emiya Shirou's side, then the hero named Emiya will not be born. His distant words contain such hope. Oh, that's so good. And he still gets, like, his original wish in the end, perhaps.
あーちゃん。
But even if that were to happen, even then, the knight in red that already exists will forever be a guardian. He and the boy are different existences. They only have the same starting point, and he was an illusion that the boy dreamt of. Oh my god, that's so good. Oh my god, that's so good. What a line. Okay, I'm getting a little emotional. I'm not gonna cry. I swear to God, I'm not gonna cry, but I am getting a little emotional. That was such a good line. There is no salvation available for this knight anymore. There's nothing to give to him, as he has already died and become a phenomenon. The girl nods in spite of that. Because she cannot give him anything, she gives him the biggest smile in the end. He asks her to take care of him, in order to answer the trust that he put in her.
分かってる。私頑張るから。あんたみたいにひねくれたやつにならないよう頑張るから。きっとあいつが自分を好きになれるように頑張るから。
I'll do my best so that he'll be able to like himself, because that's all it's ever been about.
だからあんたも。
Forgive yourself? She doesn't put it into words. The girl looks up at the disappearing knight with a flood of emotions. Okay, I'm actually getting really close, I'm not gonna lie. God damn it, I hate this game so much. How much salvation did that bring? After engraving the girl's smile into his memory with pride. Oh my god!
大丈夫だよ、Tohsaka. 俺もこれから頑張っていくから。
No way we got the Shirou style shot with Emiya. That's crazy. That's crazy. That looks so good. Why is he so hot? I hate it so much. He's so hot though. A breeze. Oh, there he goes. The knight finally rests his wounded body without waiting for the girl's reply. Classic. She wipes her tears as they well up and says to the man who is no longer there. That voice is invigorated and she regains her usual stout-heartedness. It is only natural. Doesn't have the time to be down after he made a face like that. She says farewell to the wasteland where the knight stood, and the girl runs down to the collapsed boy. In the golden sunlight, his smile, as he disappeared, was just like the boy's from the past. Oh, so good. So good. Stupidly good. This game's incredible. This is gonna be epilogue. Epilogue! Let's go! Holy shit, here we go. Epilogue. I mean, we're rolling at this point. We're doing it. Sometimes I recall that sword fight. The sparks of the clashing sword, the hustling, intense spirit. The many attacks were inexperienced, not something that one could call a sword dance. We were both clumsy and didn't know of retreat. The ridiculous sounds of swords were annoying, and I have no memory of them. At that time, I lost an answer and found an answer at the same time. A plus and a minus make 0. Nothing has changed after all. He's him and I'm me. I'm just dreaming of his fading memories. It's only been a month, but it already feels so nostalgic. It feels like it happened so long ago. The memory of it is fading day by day, and I can't even remember what the person I was fighting looked like. Yeah, because your reality is changing, because you're not going to become that person. That also can't be helped. That was something that was impossible from the start. It's not like either of us believed that the fight would change anything. We just tried to attack our own shadow to ascertain ourselves. That's why there was nothing we would gain from winning. Something like that has been stuck from the start and won't go away. It's the end if you lose, and there is no prize if you win. Man, it really didn't pay off. But I could still recall it if I closed my eyes. The echoing sounds of unrefined metals. A distant and blinding sword fight that did not know of retreat. It was our beliefs that clashed with each other. It was one of the greatest things I've ever read. I will never get over that. I think that's like the closest thing I almost have to a complaint. Like obviously, like from a narrative standpoint, like it was fine, but like that was such an emotional peak of this route that like the stuff we did in this episode was fantastic, but it still paled in comparison to Archer versus Shirou. And like everything from like the reveal, the proper reveal of Archer as Emiya through the Archer Shirou fight, that was like all like peak fiction. And I'm not even like memeing. That was like one of the greatest things I've ever read or seen or yada yada. And then the ending was really good, but it didn't live up to that. I mean, this is my favorite. Like, this route surpassed the Fate route. But if there's one thing I can give the Fate route, is the actual final climactic battle was a lot more emotional for me than this one. But the Emiya versus Shirou fight was more emotional, I think, than even that final climactic battle in the Fate route. So, and also just, there's other reasons why I would take Unlimited Blade Works over Fate, but, that's like the closest thing to like a complaint I have about like the end game stuff for this route, was that the second to last fight was like the greatest thing I've ever seen. And so the final fights were a little, I don't even want to say underwhelming because they were great. Like the assassin swerve was one final twist was great. I guess two, because fucking this motherfucker Archer never dies. And the Gilgamesh Shirou stuff was incredible, and like it was great, right? But it was just everything was building towards Archer versus Shirou, so what came after just felt like extra, like gravy, like icing, you know? I opposed my own ideal to carry out my hope. The outcome is still undecided. I don't know which one won, or which one remained. It should be a while until the answer comes out. Yeah, I guess it depends on what you turn into. An illusion, like a mirage, that disappears if one turns around. Just using the reverberations as a guide, my feet will eventually reach this place. Yeah, I was gonna say, we're gonna... That's crazy.
みな集会に向かったぞ。学校に来ていながらボイコットするつもりか貴様。
Wow. My body is being shaken. The voice brings my sleeping mind back to reality. There he is! It's been so long, bro!
あれ、なんで一星がいるんだ?
I assume we have something to do. I lift my face up from my desk and stare at my classmate's face.
なぜなどない。ここは教室で。
Nice.
今日は2年最後の日で。
Nice.
時刻は終業式10分前だ。
Dude, Issei's so pissed.
姿が見えぬか
I
ら
came to look for you since I didn't see you, but I
本当に居
didn't.
眠りしていると呆れたぞ。
And then I started reading his lines. I don't know if he's panicking or if he's mad, but it's rare for Issei to be yelling. This is only Issei and me in the classroom. It's 9:50 a.m. The end of term assembly is from 10 a.m., so everyone must have gone to the gymnasium.
もしきちんと目が覚めているか、エミヤ。
今ので完全に目が覚めた。Thank you, Issei.
Thank you,
起こ
Issei.
しに来てくれて助かった。
Bro, hit him with the English thank you. He's already he actually is turning into Archer.
ん?
Oh.
わかればよろしい。だが礼は後だ。急がねば間に合わん。
Cute Issei blush is cute.
お前と俺が欠席とあっては。
We're in the epilogue. Give me Taiga Sensei, please.
了解。明日から休みだっていうのに無茶な課題出されたらクラスのみんなに顔向けできない。藤姉をおとなしくさせるのは
藤姉。
頼むぞ。これ以上宿題が増えれば皆に顔向けができないどころか間違いなく呪われる。
That's a scary way to put it, but it's frightening how it's the truth. Last summer, the amount of extra homework we got after we made Fujine mad was insane. It wasn't even English homework. I don't know what she was thinking when she told us to enter some competition anywhere in the country and win a medal. God, that's such a Taiga Sensei move. I love Fujine so much. Like, those characters, like Fujine and Sakura, really hope... I mean, Sakura for sure is going to be more involved in Heaven's Feel. I really hope Fujine is more involved in Heaven's Feel. That's someone I didn't mention, but Fujimura Sensei is awesome. We should hurry to the gymnasium for now, because that was a character we also, I feel like, got more of in the Fate route than in the UBW route. It takes 3 minutes if we run from here to the gymnasium. We should be able to get there 5 minutes before if no teacher finds us. All right.
いや、それはダメだ。
Of course, because
廊下を走るのはいかん。
Of course, because you always have a stick up your ass. Of course you say that. That was naive of me. As expected of the student council president, he's really committed as he is still following the rules even in this situation.
立派だ、一星。けど、歩いてたら間に合わないぞ。
走らぬ程度に急ごう。
Bro's like,
1分前だろうがなんだろうが。 間に合いさえすれば言い訳は立つ。
Bro getting his, you know, his monk training, his Ryoto temple shit gone. I don't know if I've ever seen him make that pose, though. I probably have, but I don't recall it. I nod and walk faster. It's mid-March, but the sky that I see out the window is amazingly blue. Fuyuki City has long winters, but it seems like spring is finally around the corner. Awesome. The days went by quickly. It's been a month since the Holy Grail War, and the town is back to the normal Fuyuki City. The Holy Grail was destroyed, and most of the damage caused by the Masters was taken care of by the church. The person that came to substitute for Kodomine Kirei was old but energetic, and everything was settled efficiently. but the traces of the war are still left here and there. Soichiro Kuzuki, who chose to fight as a master, is considered missing. Issei was sad that Kuzuki, whom he respected as an older brother, was gone, but... Yeah, I suppose so. He just laughed it off. What surprised me was Fujine, since it turns out that they often drank tea together. She confessed that she wanted to have a match with him at least once, so it seems like she saw through the fact that Kazuki was a master of martial arts. Interesting! I wonder if that's ever going to come up in Heavensfield. Shinji's life was saved by Tohsaka, and he's currently in the hospital. Apparently the hospital is part of the Mages Association, his body is recovering. Yep. Good for you two. You know, obviously, does Shinji deserve it? Absolutely not, but good for you two for being the bigger man and woman. Sakura is busy visiting Shinji, so she's been showing up only on the weekends this past month. I went to go snoop on them once, but they were getting along so well that I thought I was seeing things. What the hell? Did, like, Shinji become not a dick? I don't know if whatever was possessing him went away from that incident, or if he's just unenergetic from the wounds. Either way, the Shinji that I saw being taken care of by Sakura was sarcastic but sincere. He's acting more like the Shinji that I first met. Interesting. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, Shirou has always, like, tried his best to defend Shinji. Kind of, like, implying, yeah, so that's interesting that, like, he's trying to say, like, this is kind of the Shinji that I always used to know. Like, you know, Shinji kind of gradually became a worse and worse person, or was affected by God knows what, because, like I said, I'm sure we're going to learn more about Shinji in Heavensfield, because it's just... Because, I mean, we have to learn more about Ryder and Sakura and, like, all that stuff, so I imagine the Mato family is going to be a huge part of Heavensfield. Saber is not here anymore. After she destroyed the Holy Grail, she left this world as a servant. The moment she destroyed the Holy Grail with her own hand, she must have been released from whatever was binding her. It's frustrating that I didn't get to say goodbye, but I should be glad that she's released from her fixation on the Holy Grail. If I am able to see her again, I want to thank her as much as I can. And finally, the most important person. Oh, it feels weird for him to be like the most important person, Rin, because obviously in Fate, I feel like Rin would have been there and Saber would have been here, but it's kind of flipped here where, like, Rin is his most important person in this route. Oh, here we go. We get down to the first floor and on our way to the corridor towards the gymnasium. There she is!
こんな時に校舎の見回り？それとも各部室の手入れかしら？毎度のことで言い合ったけど、そういうところ本当に豆なのね。
I feel like I haven't seen Tohsaka in the school outfit in like 20 years. I mean, to be fair, I feel like I haven't seen Issei in 20 years either, so this is kind of trippy. We run into, and in the same spot, that, like, I think the three of them have a scene early on in the story, too, which is crazy. We run into the one representing the students at the assembly instead of the student council president as she comes out of the teacher's office.
こちらもその言い回しには飽き飽きだ。たまには違う憶測を立ててみろ。
Nice.
それとも貴様、よもやわざと繰り返しているのではあるまいな。
I don't really think she's trolling you, but, you know. Issei glares at Tohsaka. I love that Issei is like one of the few people that just doesn't deal with Tohsaka's shit.
そんなの当たり前じゃない。何？今まで気づいてなかったの？リュウド君。
Damn, get cooked.
そうなんだ。もう少しユーモアのある人だと思ったけど、本当に堅物だったのね。
Girl hit him with the blockhead insult.
ごめんなさい。今まで親愛の情を込めて同じ挨拶をしていたけど。
Wow.
あなたには分かりづらかったんですね。
Get cooked. That was a compliment in a weird way.
何が親愛だ。お前に向けられる親愛など覚えがない。行くぞエミヤ。メギツネに構っていては式に遅れる。
We'll be late if we concern ourselves with this vixen. What a great way to describe her. But also, Rin being like more openly like sweet is kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. Issei sure doesn't get along with Tohsaka. Well, I feel the same way, so I'm in no position to feel any sympathy. Wow. And our eyes meet as I pass by Tohsaka. Oh, it's so awkward. We decided that we would act normally when there are others around. Okay, so you're like, so good. You're not like making out in the hallway. That's good to know. I naturally ignore Tohsaka and follow Issei. Yeah, she's gonna act like a soon. However...
おはよう、エミヤくん。今朝も元気そうで嬉しいわ。
Wow, get cooked. I don't know what she didn't like, but she embraces my arm and puts on a big smile just to fuck with Issei. I love it. My mind goes blank. We had been seeing each other every day, but this is the first time we've touched each other like this in a month. Okay, that weird phrasing. But okay.
Tohsaka.
I desperately try not to blush and resist Tohsaka's touch.
冗談よ。
Her face!
けど嬉しいのは本当よ、エミヤくん。
Oh shit, her face!
そうだ。式が終わって生徒会の手伝いが済んだら一緒に帰りましょう。私、あなたが来るまでずっと教室で待ってるから。
I'll keep on waiting for you in my class. Dude, this is all of a sudden, this just sounds like the plot to like a, very, certainly something that is definitely not safe for work. Like, what in the world are you doing, Rin? You are absolutely trolling the ever-loving shit out of Issei, and it's hilarious. I mean, the faces in this shot are amazing. Mainly Rin's, but Issei's is pretty great, too. Tohsaka puts emphasis on keep on waiting. Yeah, that was the thing that was, like, really sus. Yeah, let go of him already, you vixen. Demon woman. Witch. You are literally kind of a witch.
何って、竜道くんには関係ないでしょ。
Dude, get cooked.
それじゃあ失礼。生徒会長に代わって挨拶をしなくちゃいけないから、私も忙しいの。
Get cooked! What in the world, Rin? Oh my god, Rin, you're such an asshole, but I love you so much. Also, yeah, girls like, you know, she got the vibe. She got the vibe like, oh, is he a little interested in Shirou? Oh, I gotta, you know, defend my turf. I gotta put him in his fucking place. Like that, there was a little bit of that energy here too. And also, she just doesn't like Issei in like her, they have their weird rivalry. Tohsaka leaves with the noisy footsteps of a victor. Yeah, she absolutely owns you, bro. You're done, Issei. Yeah, and Emiya, you're in trouble. Very complicated question. Yeah. I'm her servant.
大体、遠坂と知り合いになったってのはかなり前に言ったと思うが。
そんなものは1ヶ月も前の話だろう。悪いことは言わんから。手を切れと忠告したはずだ。そうか。弱みだな。あいつに弱みを握られたのか。
Does she know your weakness? I don't even know what you're implying, actually.
まあ、弱みは握られてる。
What the fuck are we talking about?
やはりそうか。
What are we talking about? Why are you blushing so much? I'm so confused.
くそ、己遠坂。もはや捨ておけん。
Confess, Emiya.
相談しろエミヤ。今すぐ白状しろエミヤ。二人で手を合わせて、今日こそあのメギツネに仏罰を下してやるのだ。
Let's pray that the Buddha will give that vixen her due punishment. Is wild. Issei shakes my shoulders.
Issei, 時間。終業式始まるぞ。
This is awesome. This is such a good epilogue.
どうせ初めは気圧のざれ言。少々遅れた方が
Wow. Bro's like, I don't even care if I'm late. That's how much I hate Rin. The student council president is still shaking my shoulders. Issei is usually calm, but he's a different person when it involves Tohsaka. Tohsaka must be his natural enemy, but...
悪い、Issei。士気が上がっているところすまないが、俺じゃ遠坂をどうにもできない。やっつけに行ったら逆にやっつけられる。
Oh yeah, there's gonna be abuse in this relationship. Rin's gonna beat the shit out of him regularly.
その悪いことは言わないが、あいつには近づかない方がいい。
Maybe not the worst advice, honestly.
エミヤにしては後ろ向きな発言。まさかそれほどの弱みを握られているというのか。
Oh yeah, he's in the palm of her hand.
残念ながら。そんなわけなんで、 遠坂退治は一世一人に任せる。辛い戦いだとは思うが、俺の分まで頑張ってくれ。
Wow, that's amazing.
そうか、わかった。安心しろエミヤ。
For a better school life.
学園生活のためだ。なんとしても遠坂の化けの皮を剥いで失脚させる。
I don't know what this alternate anime is, but I want it. Like, I want this shit. Like, this needs to be a thing. This is so... Oh, God. I love this game so much. And, like, having these fun moments, which obviously we got more of them in the Fate route than Unlimited Blade Works, but, like, I think the more I go through the, like, peak fiction parts of this series, the more I enjoy the absolutely stupid stuff like this epilogue. Because, like, I've gone through so much emotional turmoil and such journeys with these characters that, like, I'm so invested in them. You know, maybe not as much Issei, but he's great anyways. But, like, with Shirou and Rin, of course, that, like, this shit's just even funnier.
メギツネめ、運動系の部活動を束ねて何やら企んでいるようだが、あと1年もすれば生徒会も盤石だ。本当の勝負はそれからよ。
Dude, it's almost like Issei and Rin could be their own version of, like, the two protagonists of Kaguya-sama, for anyone who's seen Kaguya-sama. But, like, I don't know who the fuck that would make Shirou in this hypothetical, but I'd love, like, almost like a Kaguya-sama style parody with, like, Issei and Rin. It'd be freaking great. The student council president laughs fearlessly. Oh, but Issei... We'll all be graduating in a year. He just let him be. Yeah, now, oh, she said she was gonna wait for you. She wasn't kidding. The end of term assembly ends, and the school starts to calmly lose its liveliness. Spring break has started. Most of the students have left with a smile, and the athletic clubs are already starting their training camps today. There aren't that many students left in the building. All the classrooms are empty, and all that is left in the hallway is the redness from the sunset. Better not forget. Yep, there you go.
やっと終わったわね。一世のやつ、最後までシローに手伝わせるんだもの。あれ、絶対嫌がらせよ。
Oh, let's go. An empty classroom, an almost empty classroom. Tohsaka smiles and says so as soon as she sees me in the 2A classroom, tinted by the sunset.
バカ、遠坂がおかしなことするからだろ。そっちが余計なこと言わなきゃ、もっと早く解放されてたんだ。
She couldn't resist. I enter the classroom complaining. I wonder why I feel so restless in other classrooms, even though they all look the same.
何よ、私のせいだっていうの？シローは。
半分は間違いなくな。
Yep.
いいか、いきなり仲良くなると変に思われるから、3年まで知らないふりしようって言ったの遠坂だろ？
She got sick of waiting.
なんであんなことしたんだよ。
今日で2年も終わるんだから、ちょっとぐらいフライングしてもいいじゃん。
That's so cute. She couldn't wait.
だいたいね、無視するにしたって他に方法があるでしょ？
Wow.
昼休みにすれ違うのならいざ知らず、私たちしかいなかったんだから、目配せの一つぐらいするのが筋ってものよ。
Nice. I don't know what she's upset about, but Tohsaka complains while looking the other way. I hate that they're not showing her. I need to see. They're gonna give us some awesome art of Rin in a second, but they're making me wait for it. Is it because of the classroom during the sunset? That gesture that I'm used to seeing looks so fresh and cute that it makes me admire her. Come on, give it to me.
ほら、もらい物だけど飲むか。
I offer her the orange juice pack that is distributed to students who help clean up.
もらうもらう。やった。シロってこういうところは気が利くのよね。
Oh, what a goober. She accepts the juice pack and takes a sip out of the straw. She's sitting by the window. Give me the shot. Stop teasing me. Tohsaka is looking down at the campus as if looking at something bright. It's going to be so beautiful in the sunset by the window. Oh, give it to me. Stop. ... Dotting. I don't need ellipses. I need Tohsaka. I follow her example and look down at the campus while sipping. Or I'll take both of them. Must be the track team running. Our athletics department is really lively, even though it's spring break starting tomorrow.
ねえ、エミヤくん。昔陸上部にいなかった？
Then, Tohsaka suddenly asks me something strange.
陸上部？いや、俺は昔から弓道部だけど。
そっか。まあ、そういうこともあるわよね。夕焼け見てたら思い出しちゃった。
Oh? Telling me to forget about it, Tohsaka sips on her orange juice. Interesting. I'll forget it if she tells me to. When she calls me Emiya instead of Shirou half the time, she's making a sarcastic remark, and the other half is when she's saying something important. I'm sure this one was the latter. After a month of her grueling magecraft course, I'm starting to finally notice Tohsaka's habits.
にしてもあっという間だったな。
It really does.
聖杯戦争が終わって、シロが私に弟子入りしてもう1ヶ月か。なんかこの分じゃ1年なんてすぐに過ぎ去るわね。
We're already, I know I've been literally on this game for fucking years, but we're 2/3 of the way through Fate Stay Night. It's insane. This game is such a behemoth, and I took a huge break that was way longer than I wanted it to be, and I've been very upfront in these videos with you guys that, like, I don't know if I can get back into this after Danganronpa V3. Like, mentally, the first route strained me a lot, mentally. This route has, like, emotionally broken me so many times. You guys have heard it. And it's one of those things where it's like, I appreciate the lack of a camera because this game has turned me into an absolute mess. And, like, it sounds stupid to say that, like, playing a game can have that much in it, but that's how much I put in, right? I put so much of my heart and soul and all of my emotions into these shows I react to and these games I play and stuff, and when they hit me that hard, like, this game has hit me so hard, and, like, I genuinely just don't know if I'm gonna be ready for Heaven's Feel when I had initially planned to do Heaven's Feel. Maybe I will be, maybe I won't, but, like, I couldn't explain to you how badly, this has been far and away the hardest thing for me to record for a while now. And it's one of those things where I'm actually relieved I'm finished. And it's ironic because it's one of the greatest things, like, ever, right? So it's like you would think I'd be so excited to record it, but it has just been so emotionally draining. It is one of the greatest things ever. But at the same time, I've, like, almost been dreading playing more of Unlimited Blade Works. So it's such a weird emotion. It's so hard to explain. But I feel like you guys can kind of understand it, especially because you guys obviously have seen some of the reactions, some of the, literally have seen me lose both have mental breakdowns and emotional breakdowns, and sometimes both at the same time, over just how good this fucking game is and how much I love it. But yeah, I can't believe I've played 2 of the 3 routes of Fate Stay Night. It's unbelievable. It's been a month since I started learning magecraft from Tohsaka in hopes of becoming stronger. I like that. He became her apprentice. Like I said, in a way, he almost became her servant. I've been putting in hard work and tossed around by Tohsaka's malicious nature, so it was a whirlwind, but it went by quickly. This past month seemed long, but felt fast. So then, a year might go by as quick as spring break.
1年か。その頃にはこの学校ともお別れだな。
Yep.
そうね。この教室は今日限りの教室で、4月になったら新しい教室になる。それと同じで、1年後には違う場所に行くことになるんでしょうね。
Very melancholy tone there to Tohsaka's voice. Tohsaka holds her knees and blankly looks out the window, still looking down at the campus.
違う場所か。
I wonder what I'll be doing when I graduate a year from now. No, I don't even have to think about it. What I must do doesn't change. I just need to make my ideal come true, just like he believed. Well, and I have one other goal that's just as big right now. But I don't want to think about it too much since it's irritating. Yeah, I wonder what your other goal is, and I wonder if she's in this room with you right now.
ねえ、エミヤ君は卒業したらどうするの？やっぱりお父さんの後を継ぐの？
いや、そうだけど、後を継ぐっていうより、早く一人前になりたい。そうじゃないと格好つかないだろ。
It's all about looking cool, right? And who are you looking cool for? I might ask.
へえ。
Yes,
つ
yes!
かないって誰に？
Oh, she cooked! She cooked and he has the ellipses response! Oh, you look so guilty! This is it. In other words, the other goal is to make her admit defeat. Based.
別にいいだろ。
Yeah, good luck with
とにか
that.
く俺の急務は一人前になることで、そのために遠坂に弟子入りしたんだ。あと1年、よろしく頼む。
Bro, you're gonna be admitting defeat your whole life. There's no scenario where she's ever giving you that satisfaction.
あら、ずいぶんと強気ね。あと1年で一人前になろうだなんて。私、10年ぐらいは覚悟して師匠役を引き受けたんだけど。そっか、エミヤ君はあと1年でいいんだ。
Oh, he's gonna blush.
10年
Oh.
それは嬉しいけど。いや、そうじゃなくて、えらく気の長い話じゃないか、それ。
Oh.
1年ならともかく、10年なんて遠坂も疲れるだろう。
Oh, she's putting her foot on your throat, man.
別に、
Yep.
エミヤ君の目標が一人前になることと同じで、
So,
私のしたいことも、あなたを早く一人
Yep.
前にすることだもの。
yep, because that's the way she
頭の中でちゃん
is.
と計画立ってるわよ。
She's
なん
so,
なら
yep.
紙にして渡そっか。
Yeah, she's like, oh yeah, no, this is how I have my whole life planned out, and you're a big part of it. And she's just, and he just like stutters and like, you know, stumbles. Yep, yep. That's, I couldn't ask for more, but yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you're never making her admit defeat, but you will be admitting defeat regularly.
けど、それも無理かな。エミヤ君、お父さんの後を継ぐんでしょ？なら卒業した後もずっとこの町にいるってことよね。
Interesting.
そうだけど、そういう遠坂はどうするんだよ。遠坂の家は冬木の管理人なんだろ？遠坂だってこの町から離れられないんじゃないのか？
Not if she doesn't give a shit about the Tohsaka name anymore.
私は卒業したらロンドンに行くけど、
Oh, London, huh?
今回の件で魔術協会から推薦も取ったし、試験なしで入学させてくれるらしいわ。
That makes sense. I mean, you did literally essentially win the Holy Grail War.
ロンドンって魔術協会の総本山のあのロンドン？
Of course, the headquarters of the Mage Association's in London. That's so stupid, but that's on brand.
ええ、冬木の町じゃ限界があるし、5年
The
ぐらい
clock tower?
勉強しようかなって。
Oh my god, the fucking lore of this universe.
父さんもそうだったって言うし、魔術師として一人前になりたいなら最高のところに行くのは当然じゃない？
So it's basically like Mage College, I guess. Mage University. I'm surprised. It's so sudden that my eyes get wide and my head becomes empty. For Tohsaka, who is a legitimate mage, that much is natural. I finally realized the difference in our positions that I hadn't thought about until now.
ロンドンか。それすごいことなんだよな。
She'd be thrilled to take her apprentice with her to London.
それは微妙じゃないかしら。悔しいけど私本人の力を認められての招待じゃないわ。父さんの功績もあるし、今回の件だって単に最後まで残ったからだし。
Yeah, maybe you aren't so special over there. She says it casually, but it must be impressive after all. But London, huh? That's indeed a bit too far. Why? And just like my old man who wasn't a part of the Mages Association, I'm also not good with formal stuff like that. That's
で
true.
もそれを言うならエミヤ君にだって資格はあるわ。私が推薦すれば入学試験ぐらいは受けさせてもらえると思うけど。
Yep. But I might be able to move there at least. I could start working more, study English, save up enough for the flight to Britain and about a month's worth of living expenses and find a job over there. Oh my god, he's thinking about his whole life. He's thinking about how this would work. Also there is something kind of cool about them going to essentially Saber's homeland. That's actually kind of really like cute in a weird way.
エミヤ君にとって教会は敵地だから乗り気はしないだろうけど、時計塔ならちゃんとした道具も揃ってるし、修行には持ってこいよ。でも固有結界は秘密にしないとダメだから、あくまで基礎力の試験になるのか。1年で足りるかな、時間。
Yeah, unlimited blade works is kinda like forbidden. No, even if I hypothetically rented an apartment there. I love how he's thinking about all this. She's like basically saying like, I don't know if they have a dorm situation, but if it's not a dorm situation, it's basically like, let's live together. Let's get an apartment together. I don't know what kind of place the clock tower is, but I'm sure Tohsaka will get even busier. In that case, I should study on my own and go see her once I become a proper mage. He's literally not listening to her. She's gonna slap you, bro. Yeah, that's right. That's right. First of all, London isn't even suited for me. I bet I'll faint if I go there and it's filled with people like Kotomine. Imagine London's just entirely Kotomine Kire. That sounds like the greatest place on earth. Happiest place on earth, most magical place on earth. Oh yeah, she's ready to beat your ass. Literally and figuratively. She would enjoy beating your ass literally, but she'll probably do it figuratively first. I don't think you guys are quite there in your relationship yet. I don't know if she has any whips or riding crops yet, but she will. God damn it. Tohsaka goes quiet with a clouded expression. Then, as she takes a deep breath with a serious expression. Oh my god, she's just gonna come out and say it?
言い忘れてたんだけど、私は登坂の後継者として招かれてるの。つまり、一人前の魔術師として、ちゃんとした一人部屋をもらえるってこと。
She does something that doesn't make sense. Oh my god. Think about it.
一人前の魔術師として認められているの。そうなると、弟子の一人や二人はいて当然でしょ？
Yep.
ほら、向こうじゃ派閥争いもあるって言うし、一人ぐらいは弟子を連れて行ってもいいんだって。
Yes, sir. Tohsaka glances at my face. Oh my god, you idiot, you idiot, you fucking idiot. She's telling you to go to London with her because she fucking loves you, you idiot. Even if I'm thick-headed, I can at least tell what Tohsaka is trying to say, yes. In other words...
そうよ。世話係としてなら、身内一人ぐらいは無条件で連れて行けるみたい。それなら、試験を受けることもないし、学費も何もかも免除になるわ。
Yeah, it's basically a free ride.
まあ、扱いは教会の学徒だけど、教会には属さないっていうそんな役回りになっちゃうんだけど。
Color returns to my mind that went white. No, I force color back into it and mobilize it. What Tohsaka is saying, yes. I rack my brain, absorb myself into weighing my options, and I have a year from now. I must look funny being flustered as Tohsaka is giggling.
なんだよ。俺は別にお前の言葉に踊らされてるんじゃなくてだな。
Well, that's not the intention. One could, I guess, frame it that way.
言いたいことはそれだけ。
Yeah.
私はロンドンに行くけど。
She's like, I've made up my mind. I'm going to London. I'd love for you to come with me. If you don't want to come with me, it's okay. I understand. But I'd love for you to come with me. Like, she's being very upfront. Oh, what the hell is this theme? She looks softly at me. Tohsaka looks at me with a mischievous expression. Are we gonna see them kiss? Oh my god, there's the shot! There's the shot!
ねえ、シロはどうするの?
Dude, imagine this is a fucking choice. Wouldn't that be so funny? Fuck you, Rin. I'm staying in Japan. She gently asks me as if seeing through my heart. My face turns red in an instant. Her words and behavior alone blows away my trivial humility and dislike towards the association. This is what I mean by Tohsaka knowing my weakness. It's her. Falling for her is a weakness that I haven't been able to deal with for a long time.
あら、突然だんまり? 私、答えを聞いてないんだけどな。
Oh, here, I think we're getting it. She keeps smiling mischievously. She knows what my answer is, yet she pursues and attacks mercilessly. That's who she is. She's like, I already got him. I already checkmated him 3 moves ago. London is honestly too far, but I can't imagine learning magecraft from anyone other than Tohsaka. And more than that, I wasn't even thinking of parting with Tohsaka. Most of all, I want to be with Tohsaka.
もう、大事なことなんだからはっきり聞かせなさい。
Literally one of the most important moments of your lives. You know, fuck the Holy Grail War. This is what really matters. And that's kind of the point, right? Like, that's kind of thematically kind of the point of the game, right? I mean, one of them.
私と一緒に行ってくれる?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the assistant thing is secondary. She's asking you to come with her to London.
うるさいバカ。バカバカバカ。 大事なことならもっとちゃんとした場所で言えってんだ。いきなり言われて口にできるか。
Oh my god, you're acting so tsundere! And she's just like, oh, I wrote the book on tsundere, baka. I don't know what will happen to me if I stay like this, so I look away from Tohsaka. I still feel her presence through my back. Tohsaka happily watches me sweat.
シロ、答えは？
She's gonna make you say it. A gentle voice like a whisper. I give up. Ah, yep, you admitted defeat! Just like I said, you're gonna admit defeat so much in your life, Shirou. This is the right. This is the correct result. Was it this hard to just reply and nod honestly? Yes. But if I can't look back at Tohsaka unless I say it clearly. Oh, love the shot.
そんな分かりきったこと聞くな。
Aww. I look at Tohsaka just with my eyes and tell her my true feelings to the best of my ability. Saka's smile widens just from those words.
じゃあこれからもよろしくね、エミ役。あなたが一人前になるまで遠慮なく鍛えてあげるから覚悟なさい。
Oh yeah, she's gonna work you ragged.
そっちこそ言っとくけど本気にしたぞ。こうなったら一人前になるまでちゃんと面倒見てもらうからな。
もちろん。シロを真人間にして思いっきりハッピーにするのが私の野望なんだから。ロンドンに連れてくぐらいで見上げられちゃたまらないわ。
And obviously, all the depth of that quote given Archer is like, oh, it's so good. That's really sweet. It's my ambition to turn you into a new man and make you happy. That's so sweet. I don't know where her previous cuteness went. Saka says with her confident smile and jumps off at the desk. The sun should set soon. Spring break will end. It'll become April, and another year should pass by quickly. We will part with the scenery until then. After a year, I will be spending my last moments of student life with Tohsaka like this.
帰りましょう。今夜はエミヤくん家でにぎやかに晩ご飯にするんだから。
Hopefully with Fujimura and Sakura, hopefully. We leave the classroom without any regrets. Maybe not Sakura, because she's been, hanging out with Shinji in the hospital or whatever, but... I hear the liveliness of the athletic clubs from the schoolyard. Their shouts are distant and remind me of a sword fight from some time ago. Oh, and we're bookending the epilogue. That's great. I can't stay in the same place forever. Tohsaka and I will be going to a different place a year from now. It should be a while until I find out whether this is the right choice or not. I recall that red figure just once. Neither this classroom nor that sword fight will change. Everything is the same. An illusion, like a mirage, that disappears if one turns around. But I can get there if I aim high. I will definitely catch up to his back with Tohsaka's help. So I'll come up with an answer at that time. Oh, the sound of swords echoing in the distance. Using that as a guide, I will eventually reach that place. So good. So good. Walking with the wind blowing on your face, walking towards the future. Busy days with no compass to guide you. After traveling to distant exotic countries, you will return to where you belong. One sunny day. Oh my god! Oh my god, we did it. Unlimited blade works. I am the bone of my sword. Oh my god, it happened. I thank all of you. I know. This takes an eternity. I know, you know how I am with these games. I loved this game. I'll definitely have some studying to do. I know there was a scene that a lot of you guys talked. There was a choice a while back where a lot of you guys were like, oh, I really should have got this other choice. I'm definitely going to do some studying. There's going to be plenty of preparation for when I actually do Heaven's Feel and the ways I'll review this just beautiful game. This was one of the greatest. This game is incredible. I could say this is one of the greatest things I've ever consumed at this point, and we're somehow only 2/3 of the way through the game. It's actually ridiculous to think that we have a whole nother story. We have a whole nother route to play one day. Like, it's actually incredible. Like, I don't even know how to even process the idea of a third Fate route. Like, the idea that this was not the last route, it blows me away. And I am absolutely going into Heaven's Feel not expecting it to surpass Unlimited Blade Works. If it somehow does, this might genuinely just be like the greatest thing ever. If that's somehow possible. I highly doubt it. Oh, that was such a good shot. Bro's like 20 million feet tall. Shoutouts to Type Moon. Shout out to Nazu. Shout out to Ren. Produced by Type Moon, indeed. Unbelievable. That's my girl. Title screen? What's going to happen? How long are we going to stay at the white screen? If it lasts for like 10, 15 more seconds, I'm going to assume I have to press something. Yep, I did have to press X. Now, title screen. Answer? The hell does that mean? What? We're not done? Hello? We have an epilogue to the epilogue? Are we actually going to get to see future Shirou? What came back to me was a distant memory. It was a sign that he should have forgotten and discarded, something that should not have returned. The sparks from swords clashing. We're actually going to get the answer, huh? Swords pressing against each other. Dozens of premature and immature attacks and defenses are exchanged. The match couldn't even be called an elegant exchange of swords. It's a clumsy melee of each side denying the other. So how did this once worn out vow get revived? It is an unbelievable fight between swords. He charges in despite being fully wounded. His fingers broken, limbs ripped, and the boy doesn't even realize it, but his breathing has long since stopped. The speed is insignificant, and the blows he delivers are mediocre. Even though he absorbed his knowledge and reached a point where he could withstand battle, he's back to being as clumsy as he was before. He executes a haphazard, mediocre attack. However, that first blow is heavier than any of the other attacks before. There is no such thing as a hero of justice. Knowing better than anyone else that his ideals are false, he silences that thought. His distorted mind can't bear it and collapses. It's clear to the boy that his own contradictions are going to eat him up. But he shows no indication that he's going to submit. There is no sign of falsehood in him as he wields the blade while his body is torn apart and his mental state dissolves. The intensity of this conflict is incomparable to anything in the past. The boy swings his sword full-heartedly. The two sides struggle. The space is filled with sparks, and anything that tries to intervene is instantly cut to pieces. It is the embodiment of the two parties' minds, which were repelling each other, yet melding together. A decisive blow is struck. It is simply the final spark and ember emitted by a person in their last moments. The boy gasps and nearly falls over with each blow, then steps back and swings his sword again. Seeing that, he is convinced. His enemy doesn't have any strength left. The boy in front of him is on the verge of death, corpse-like. And yet, why does the boy continue to wield the sword as if he has infinite strength? One might even say, unlimited strength? He briefly sees a vision. He must have gotten tired of seeing his opponent swing his sword despite knowing that it was pointless. Irritation. The most abhorrent impulses well up within him. What did he feel was beautiful and noble? The boy says he doesn't want to see people die meaninglessly. If it's possible, is there a way to save everybody who is suffering? Of course not. He knows a wish like that is meaningless hypocrisy. The idea that others are more important than oneself is not something that should ever cross one's mind. However, how wonderful would it be to be able to live like that? How great would it be to hold such an ideal like that? He can't hear what his enemy is saying. His enemy's voice is so weak, yet the sword he wields is fierce. This is so cool. Looking closer, the boy's hand gripping the sword have melded with the hilt. He must have done it to secure the sword, but by doing that, he will directly feel the impact from the sword. The boy is covered with blood, and if he retreats even a step back, he will fall forward as a corpse. Every attack the boy executes must be equivalent to agony in hell. The boy's voice is inaudible. The boy, who's on the brink of death, frantically goes up against the obstacle before him. The man does not need to be told what drives the boy to continue moving. It's a bad dream. The man is shown a reflection of his past. The boy continues to swing with his shredded arm. The only thing that could be heard is a strained yell. There were people that could not be saved, and he himself could not be saved. He saw the memories fade away meaninglessly and unjustifiably, and he vowed that he would never let that happen again. There is only one thing that comes to mind. What he believes, what he believed, an ideal he once swore to never let anyone else have. Even now, he swore he would not let anyone take it away from him. There it is. And then, the man realizes that there is no end to this repeating conflict. This enemy will not stop. This enemy will not stop on his own. The boy strikes with all his might, but his efforts do not grab the man's attention. The boy is trying to cut down himself. He is the one who is doing the obstructing. The enemy is wielding his sword for what he believes in, for the sake of what he can continue to believe in. Realizing that, the man gnashes his teeth. He sees the boy keep fighting, even if he knows he can't win, even if he knows there's no point. That is the exact mistake the man once made. But then why? Why does he keep looking at that boy straight on? The high-pitched sound of metal. The attack finally gets parried. The opponent should never have been able to block the attack, but he repels the man's attack with all his might as if it were natural. The mirror shatters. He's not that strong. He's not at all strong. The way he looks when he fights is ugly and it's beyond appalling. That sight? Who in the world could laugh and scorn him for that? This is incredible. Like again, you know, it's funny how the route itself fully recognizes that this was the fight. Like even though we still had to beat Gilgamesh and destroy the Holy Grail, this was the climax of the route. And it's just so clear how much the game itself, the VN itself, acknowledges that in its writing. When we have this as presumably the final scene of the route, because there's no way there's something else after this, given this is literally after the credits. After the epilogue and the credits, we're getting the answer. He holds his breath. The enemy flicks his sword and resheaths it in a single, large stance. This will be the final attack. Will he be able to stand any longer with his wounding body and fading spirit? He will. The boy overcame those extreme limits 10 times already. And that's such a huge thing about this, right? Is making the impossible possible is such a huge theme of Fate Stay Night as well. Then, even if the man prevents this incoming attack, the enemy in front will surely not stop. He wields his sword as he crumbles to the ground, but his eyes, they're looking straight at him. Briefly, he sees a familiar dream. Oh my god. This dream, who thought of it, and who passed it down to whom? The boy's voice finally reaches his empty heart. A single scene comes into sight. What an ugly, obsessive, false sense of goodwill. A beautiful, struggling ideal. The final blow comes, but the man does not see the sword that is about to pierce his chest. That is the only thing that motivates the boy. Even if his heart is fake, the beauty of what he believes is real. And that's something that can't be faked. Oh, so good. And like the whole fake thing that came up, especially in this last episode. That was the only thing the man could be proud of. The thing that was once his own strength. The boy tries to complain with a crushed throat. He wants everyone to be happy. That's right. There was no way to turn back from the very beginning. Because this dream is, without a doubt, countless sins and mistakes were committed by his hands. There was no way to atone for them other than to curse and eliminate himself. His blood-soaked hands were proof that he would never be forgiven. And yet, his gaze is straight. Mistakes and lies. He shakes off everything that pierces him, and he continues to run without stopping. The battle ends in victory. The steel, the pain that pierces his chest will not pardon his sins. To a man who curses himself, salvation will never come. But he gains a small answer. The answer will only last until he fades once again. It's a minute and meaningless one that will be forgotten the next time he is summoned. There's nothing to feel remorse over. It's something that has already been established. Something that the boy will spend the rest of his life building. There is only one thing that comes to mind. There is regret. He doesn't know how many times he wished to start over. This conclusion and ending, Emiya will continue to curse it forever. And yet,
それでも俺は間違えてなどいなかった。
it's so fucking good. It's so good. Yet I was not wrong. There's nothing to talk about. The boy will stay while the man will go. The only thing that remains in memory will be the exchanged blows. The path stretches into the distance. Relying on distant, echoing sounds, the boy heads for the wilderness. Incredible. Incredible. Bravo. Magnifique. Oh, we got the fin. Alright, obviously I have to press the button. But, it kind of feels fitting to leave it on this for a second. I am going to press the button in a little while, but I do want to talk just a little bit with the fin screen here. I mean, obviously I talked a little bit, obviously throughout the episode, of course, as I always do, and then a little bit during the credits before I realized we had it more after the credits. The story of Emiya and Shirou. One of my favorite stories ever told. Unlimited Blade Works is one of my favorite, like again, if we look at Unlimited Blade Works as its own work, which again, I do think Unlimited Blade Works does actually lean on a lot of things established in the Fate route to really be its best. So I don't really think I can, individually look at Unlimited Blade Works as its own work. I feel like it's fair to rate the three routes against each other, but I don't think you can look at any of the three routes as its own individual work. But I guess looking at Fate Stay Night from the fact that we are 2/3 of the way through, who knows, maybe even a little more, depending on, again, how long the routes are and all that stuff. But as far as just, as far as there's 3 routes at Fate Stay Night, we've played 2 of them now. This story is, it has wrecked me. Just from emotional resonance, this is easily one of the most resonating tales ever told to me, right? This story has blown me away. It has been everything I could have ever dreamed of for Fate. And it's just, I just love it. Like, I love everything about this story. It was one of the greatest, like I said, it was one of my favorite stories ever told, one of the greatest stories ever told. And I'm so glad that I got to share this experience with all of you, because it does mean a lot to me, especially when it's something on this level, this scale as well, because this has been such a long project. This is the 31st episode of Fate Stay Night, and some of these episodes have been really long. This one's going to be a pretty long one. I've had longer, of course, but this is going to be a pretty fat Fate Stay Night episode, of course. And I mean, this is just one of the greatest stories ever told. Like, I feel confident in saying that. Obviously, I kind of want to wait for Heaven's Feel one day to kind of try and even remotely consider, beyond that, how I want to view this against anything else. And I don't even like to do that very much anyways. This is one of the most important visual novels of all time. It has spawned so much in the way of is literally, this game has spawned a multimedia empire, and I understand why. It's very clear how this was the genesis for like I said, the multimedia empire that is Fate. And the fact that it all came from a visual novel of all things, and like I said, one of the best stories I've ever seen, truly. It's funny, but it also makes a lot of sense. Like, this world has just so much potential to be expanded in a million different ways. So I definitely understand how, like I said, it became a multimedia empire of anime and manga and video games and gacha games and fucking everything and your mother. It makes sense, right? But at its core, it all spawned from quality, right? Like, part of why it became what it's become is because this work, Fate Stay Night, was so compelling. It was something that, to this day is seen as one of the greatest visual novels of all time. And, I am so thankful that this finally has like an official English release, because it's finally the most easily accessible it's ever been, to the point where, what the hell? I just got booted out. Dude, what on earth? No, that's crazy. What? I literally think I just got kicked out of the game. What just happened? Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna press the button. Okay, it tried to, like, boot me out. Yep, Rin true ending. So I guess I got the true ending. So there are multiple endings. Oh, man. I don't even know. I'm like 99% sure I'm done with Fate right now. In the sense that, like, I don't want to do, like, oh. Yeah, let's get some different music going. Like, I don't want to, in fact, actually. Right, so I'm assuming this is... Yeah, I'm assuming that this is a non-true ending for Fate. This is an alternate ending for Fate. Maybe that has to do with the final decision. Maybe that's something else. I probably will look into what the deal is with that, honestly, because I have no idea, obviously. What does that mean? What does this mean? What the hell is this? What in the world? What is happening? What did I just find? What in the world did I just find? What is happening? Hello? Why are we killing Sakura? Mini Theater 1, huh? Oh, okay. Well, I got a thing for that, so that's cool. But yeah, I mean, obviously this was the true end, which is great. I'm very happy I got the true end. I don't know if there was more that went into how I got it. Because, like, obviously, like, there was only one. So it seems like there was a true end. Like I said, only the true end for Fate. And then there were two, I'm assuming 2 endings for Unlimited Blade Works, 2 endings for Heaven's Feel. So I assume this is either bad end or neutral end or whatever end. For Unlimited Blade Works, and then this is that for Heaven's Feel, and then this is true end for Heaven's Feel, I would imagine. But I guess that's something to look into potentially. You know, maybe we'll have a bridge episode next time where I see the other ending of Unlimited Blade Works, assuming that's what this is. That feels right, though, that there's 2 endings for these routes, because, like I said, I'm pretty sure, I know it's true end, but I'm pretty sure it's just the one end for that. And then yeah, so they even said, yeah, new route unlocked. So I'm assuming it's this. I mean, I'll have to obviously, yeah, because it wouldn't be a branch. Yeah, I don't even know. I'm assuming it's yeah, I'm assuming it's, yeah, because this is the original route. I'm assuming Heaven's... Oh, it might be here. I actually have no idea where the, I don't know where the fuck we're branching, honestly. But at some point, we branch. And I'm going to have to figure that out before we start Heaven's Feel. Because, like I said, no idea what to do there. But obviously, that's something for another time. It's one of those things where it's like I'm kind of in a weird state right now because I'm kind of like I'm very awake, but I'm also exhausted, like, you know, sweaty, and I'm near the end of my second cup of water here. All my ice is melted, so it's really just what's left of that ice. And yeah, I'm just kind of like, I don't know, like, I feel like I should have a better retrospective, but I feel like I've poured so much of my heart and soul into this route, and I've had such retrospective on previous episodes, that I actually don't feel like I have a lot to say about this one that I didn't say when we were going through it. It was, obviously it was fantastic, like, this was great, the Gilgamesh fight was great, it was a nice realization, you know, Archer coming in and saving the day in the end for all of us was hilarious, and so in character, as random and funny as it was awesome. And like the epilogue was fantastic. I love that Issei got to be a big part of it. It wasn't just Shirou and Rin. I love that Issei was involved in it. That was great. The scene in the classroom between Shirou and Rin was peak. And then getting that like final thing of like Archer's answer at the very end was just such a, like I said, such a chef's kiss final like takeaway. And I mean, the whole thing was really just incredible. One of the best, like I said, one of the best things I've ever played. And I feel like this episode really, in a way, this entire episode felt like an epilogue. It wasn't just the actual epilogue at the end. It kind of felt like the entire fight with Gilgamesh and Assassin and everything that kind of just wrapped up the story of Unlimited Blade Works. It felt like a falling action resolution situation. It really does feel like we climaxed with Archer versus Shirou, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like I said, I don't have this like absolutely ridiculous reaction, even though I loved this episode. I like looking at it in hindsight, I liked this route more than the Fate route, and I think, you know, looking at between Fate and Unlimited Blade Works, this has to be like up there for among my favorite works I've ever consumed. And I don't know what Heaven's Feel will, I don't know how much Heaven's Feel can push that even further. I have no doubt that Heaven's Feel is going to be fantastic. Like, at this point, I have no reason to doubt the validity of Heaven's Feel as like a crazy good route. Will I like it as much as Unlimited Blade Works? I admittedly, that's where I have some doubts. But I do keep thinking to how interesting it is that Unlimited Blade Works was the second route and Heaven's Feel's the third route. Like, that does scare me even more for what they could possibly do in Heaven's Feel, because that does kind of give off the vibe that like Heaven's Feel might actually top Unlimited Blade Works. It's probably my favorite name of the 3 routes. I do really like the name Heaven's Feel. Is like it's a vibe, that name, and I'm very curious to like find out why it's called that, because obviously the name Fate, goes with that. The word Fate comes up a lot in this series, but like it makes sense why the Fate route was called Fate. And it certainly makes sense why Unlimited Blade Works was called Unlimited Blade Works. That was very on the nose for the UBW route. So I'm very curious why Heaven's Feel is going to be called Heaven's Feel. Like, I'm very interested in exploring that route and exploring kind of what the situation is with Heaven's Feel and why it's the final route and why it's called Heaven's Feel, and like all those things I think are going to be so interesting to dive into, and I can't wait to do that. And probably when I do finally get to it, this is something where I do want to be way ahead of it. Like I said, I wasn't for Unlimited Blade Works. I'm literally, you guys are about to see this video in a little over 8 hours from when I'm finishing this recording. So, shout outs to October, by the way. I filmed a fair bit of the stuff that's coming in the preceding days. The only other thing, ironically, the other Let's Play video coming, next Let's Play video is the only other thing I haven't filmed yet, but pretty much all the other stuff for a good few days, like good little while, is recorded. So I do have some stuff ready to go. But this is going to be how we're going to start October, with a crazy finale of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Like I said, I'd love to check out the other ending. Maybe just look up how to get it, and if it isn't anything too complex. If not, I also wouldn't be opposed to watching it. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I am definitely ready to, call it a night and just get this video edited and rendered and uploaded so I can go to sleep. I'm not gonna lie, like, and then tomorrow when I get up, I'm gonna chillax. I'm gonna probably order some food and watch some baseball and just relax, because this game has like beat the shit out of me so many times. And I love when Rin beats the shit out of me, but Archer beating the shit out of me, I mean, it's also hot, but it's tough. I can only take so many licks. And, yeah. Like, I know this outro is such a mess. Like, I should be talking more about how, like, Unlimited Blade Works is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. But I really do feel like I've exhausted that plot point. Like, I've said everything I need to say. I genuinely have, and I just don't feel the need to go on a tangent. But now I'm going on a rant about not needing to go on a rant and not wanting to end this video because I know that I've actually finished Unlimited Blade Works and it's fucking with my head. This was phenomenal, though. I love this game so much. I can't imagine what Heaven's Feel is going to be like, and I can wait. I can wait. And again, I probably will say that, like, as it stands now, there's still a very decent chance that this will come after I do the next Danganronpa game, but I don't know. I really don't know. I think there's also a very real possibility that this goes on a longer hiatus, just because I don't know if I can emotionally handle this. I could genuinely don't know. I feel like I need like a really long break from this game before I do this to myself a third time, because that's the thing, right? If it's almost as bad as Unlimited Blade Works, I'm gonna die. If it's somehow as bad as Unlimited Blade Works, I'm gonna die so hard. And if by some miracle it's even more emotionally damaging than Unlimited Blade Works, I genuinely don't know how I'll make it through it, even with like a super long break from Fate. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Let's Play. I hope you guys have enjoyed the first 2/3 of me going through Fate Stay Night. I don't know when that last third's gonna come. Like I said, I have no idea if I'm really gonna do this after the last after the next Danganronpa game. I can't even say the last one anymore because that's a freaking thing that got announced too. But I don't know what the plan is there, but I know that I'm going to take a substantial break from this, and Hopefully, whatever break it is, hopefully it's enough to where I'm energized and recharged, and that's really what it comes down to. I'm not going to play Heaven's Feel until I'm energized and psyched and fully, like, just so ecstatic to jump into it, right? Like, this game has done so much damage to me that I need time away from it before I can really happily, like, jump into it with full gusto and be super excited and thrilled and ready for the game to break me a third time. So, again, I don't know when that day will come, but whenever that day will come, I hope you guys will be back to go on this ridiculously crazy journey with me one final time. Anyways, without any further ado, I must bid you adieu. The Flaming Shark and Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works signing out. Hope you have a wonderful, fantastical day, and I will see you next time with another video. Thanks for watching. Arrivederci.